long enough and I see people wearing shorts.
Yeah, no, in Ireland, the second you see a girl sun, shorts out.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
Like I made up my mind that I was wearing shorts since yesterday.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
But even
I respect that. Like, because you know,
sometimes.
sometimes I hate making a decision of what I'm going to wear in the morning of.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's a lazy one, isn't
I
it?
just pick out what I see. Like once I open, I say, okay, I'm wearing that.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't actually think about what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't have enough clothes.
You've been walking out looking crazy. I always decide what I'm going to wear the night before if I'm going out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So, well, if I'm going somewhere like important, like fancy.
So church wasn't important.
What? This church is casual, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's to the cinema.
Church is not casual for me. I don't think about church and say, I must dress my best clothes today. It's just.
Because some people come in dressed up.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
okay, look good.
Look your phone, it will break it. No, but that's the thing. Like some people think church is the whole thing to like dress up and.
Yeah, Sunday's best.
Yeah, Sunday's
best.
And I hear it, fantastic. But you know what? I think the reason I don't think about that is because I grew up in church.
Yeah.
But you can only have a few Sundays best. there's one day you wear your suit, everyone saying, go.
And then you buy 2 nice outfits every year. Easter Sunday, which is today, and New Year's. New Year's, you need to enter the New
It's
Year.
about what your art is saying. It's not your physical affair.
Have you gotten complimented one time and you felt good about yourself and you were similar on the similar spectrum and nobody complimented you again? I'm not going to wear Sunday's best. I'm not dressing for you anymore. It's for God.
I'm not dressing anymore.
Now, I've done that before. I remember I walked around one time for like an hour longer.
Yeah.
Because the clothes I wore were so nice.
No,
And I didn't want the day to end.
I remember one time when all the churches do like joint convention.
Yeah, no.
I had these shoes that had rims on the side. Like when you like touch one, it spins.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, what? They're flipping wheelies?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, not wheelies.
Oh.
They had rims on the side like hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So when you touch one, you just spin. Bro, I was walking up and down church.
For no reason.
For no reason.
For no reason.
That was me as well, bro. I brought wheelies to church, bro. There was the actual wheels.
Oh, you actually own wheelies.
Yeah.
Oh,
I never
there's
owned
there's
them.
little. Oh,
Like your mom actually bought that for you.
Yeah, Christmas.
You're lucky, man.
No, that
never-
was like special for me, man.
Yeah.
I never owned
I
wheelies.
broke them.
Never.
I never owned wheelies.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
I wish I did though, but
It's kind of sad, isn't
you
it?
know, it just got to a stage where you just stopped asking your parents for something.
Oh, yeah.
Because you knew the answer would be no.
Yeah, you're not getting it. No, bro, I had them, bro, and I flipping them. Yeah, you used to like roll around. They were like the segways of back in the day. It was proper sick, man. Thank God. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Where's Your Head Up podcast.
Happy Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter Sunday. It's your boy
Jesus has
KD.
risen.
Hey, man.
The tomb is empty.
It's your boy KD.
King Grooves.
No, dude.
And we got a special guest in the building today. State your name.
Ngozi.
Ngozi. What do you...
Ngozi. You say that like Ngozi.
Ngozi. I wanted to say the way she said it, Ngozi. So let me just say, what's actually real quick? Let's let people know you and what you do. What is it that you do?
Okay. I'm Ngozi Cadmus, and I'm a mental health and leadership expert, qualified psychotherapist, social worker, and entrepreneur.
Wow. That's a lot.
That CV is long.
It's long. It's hench.
It's more than 4 pages.
Wait, you say you're a relationship expert?
Leadership and mental health expert, but I'm a couples therapist as well, so I can.
Come on, therapize me.
I need some help.
So, how many couples have you broken up?
Quite a few.
That's actually interesting. We'll get into we'll get into each thing that you do. And then we'll break it up. But like, guys, what's your title? What's your title? As in,
That's very insulting. Wow.
Introduce yourself. Do you know what? This is why I say this here, because I was changing my thing on Instagram. You know, it says like people have public figure. You're not.
You're private.
You have 2,000 followers.
You're private. You're extremely private.
Public figure?
Yeah.
Of where? Your household. That's it.
You're only public. So I mine wasn't public figure. I think mine was coach. I was like, I don't coach anybody, right? So I changed it. I just said, I was looking through all the categories and I was like, I wanted to pick something that doesn't make me look like I'm flipping like
Self-righteous.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like I think I'm the guy, and I also that just not it's not diminishing. So I just said I'm a painter. That was the best. That was the best. That was
Wait,
honestly
painter.
Bro, I paint pictures in people's minds.
Oh yeah.
Come on, bro.
Oh yeah.
Come on, bro.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's about it. But yeah, what's your title?
Bro, listen, I'm a child of God.
I'm a Christian, son of the Most High.
Bro, I'm a COG, child of God, bro. Listen.
Mad, isn't
Son
it?
of the Most High.
It's mad.
Because imagine they invite you to do a TED talk now. What are you gonna say? Like she can say what you just said, and everyone be like, "Oh yeah, let me learn from you."
Let me listen.
Yeah.
But if you just say, "Well, I'm Tommy,"
I'm Tommy. That's a bit mad. Eh?
It's
No,
long.
and you're so right that thing you said. But
Wait, what did he say?
No, he said something. He said something to me.
When?
A while back. I'm not gonna say that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm bringing it up now.
That was completely unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. Anyways, what's been going on this week? How's everyone's week been? How's life?
This week's been a blur.
Yeah,
'Cause I
very
came
quick.
out from Dubai last week, Sunday, and then I felt a bit ill, so I slept. So I feel like I've been sleeping all week, really. Yeah, I've been sleeping all week. So this week has been kind of a bit of a blur. When you come up from holiday, you need a holiday from.
Your holiday.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
Dubai was a holiday.
It was more of a business conference, like a leadership conference.
Okay.
But
Cold.
the 3 hours difference, like at 3 a.m. it was 12 o'clock in the UK. So then you had to wake up 7. So you're only having like 4 hours sleep each day for the conference, really. So I was knackered.
Yeah. I hear it, but I actually hear that holiday after a holiday.
You need a
Or a
break.
break.
Like, you know, the people that usually take PTO from work, yeah, and then let's say their holiday ends on a Thursday and they work on Friday. I don't know how they do that.
I don't know as well.
Mad.
I don't know how
They
they do
usually
that.
call in sick. They usually
Yeah,
call in sick.
yeah. Just take a few.
If I'm taking PTO like that, I'm gonna just take the Friday off as well.
Yeah.
And maybe even the Monday.
Depending on how I
I need to
feel.
properly recover before I come back to work.
Yeah.
'Cause it's one of the worst things to go back to work once you just come back from a holiday. It's one of those like it's psychologically damaging. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a psychologist here. But I believe it's psychology.
It's true. I don't think it's good for our mental.
Yeah.
It can't be good.
Bro, the rest that you experience on holidays, the peace, all of that,
You take afternoon naps.
Yeah, bro.
But that's
If
what I
you
had.
get all the
It heats.
vitamin D you can get.
Bro.
It's beautiful.
No, I think there's a difference between napping because you can nap in Dublin,
It's not the same.
but a nap in Spain is very different.
With the windows open, the curtains open, and the sound of the ocean.
Bro.
Stop
When the
messing,
cat comes
man.
in though.
What was I gonna say? I think in Spain that man have like is it called
Siesta.
siestas? Yeah, that
Siesta.
man nap during the day.
Siesta.
Oh, that's actually a thing.
Yeah, because one of my friends worked there
mad.
as a teacher. She goes like, yeah, we would go home. I think it's like 2 o'clock. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, they go home.
Yeah, the shops
Wait, it's
close.
actually a thing.
Shops close. Yeah, everything closes. Yeah,
They still
they
do
rest.
it. Some of them, so because Barcelona is more city,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
some do it, some do it. So you will see shops open,
Yeah.
but there is still that culture of between like 12 and 2.
Yeah.
Like things
That's
like,
sick.
if you want to come out, you'd be like, wait, where's the shops? Why is it all closed?
Yeah.
And that man, they also. I think it's more so in the villages. Maybe
Yeah, they do up doing, yeah.
they're like very
All
strict
suburbs
with
and
it in the
villages and
villages size. But like, yeah, man.
No, even this 4-day weekend, it should be a more regular thing. man.
Yeah.
For the work week, you mean?
No, 4-day weekend. Like when we have Friday,
Friday.
Saturday,
So then
Sunday, and
you
Monday
want it
off.
like a 3-day work
Yeah,
week.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Why not? Whoever came up with that 2-day weekend is a scammer. Is a
Is
scammer.
it?
How can you expect us to work 5 days in a week and then 2 days off?
And the truth is, you're not even.
And you expect us to be recovering?
And the issue is, you're actually working most times all
Yeah.
throughout.
The whole
Like,
week, yeah.
like you don't get to chill.
It's a scam.
You don't get to
It's
chill.
a scam.
Whoever came up with the 9 to 5 notion, that whole like so
I
that
think it was
9 to
Henry
5 Friday.
Ford.
Yeah.
I think it was Henry Ford.
Oh, is that the owner of Ford?
That's the creator, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Ford. So it's in the second name.
No, but is he the owner of like the car company?
Yeah,
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 he created
yeah.
them. He did
So he
that.
created the work week as well.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Came up.
You sure?
Yeah.
Why did he? What was his reason? What's his
Yeah.
rationale?
Hold on, let me find
And
out.
why did everyone listen to him?
Yeah.
So in 1926, Henry Ford standardized a 5-day work week instead of the prevalent 6
Okay,
days.
it was 6 days. You bet you better. Thank you, Henry.
Bro, and he did it without reducing workers' pay, hours worked, stabilized.
Wisdom.
Now there needs to be somebody,
Right,
David King. I now say 4 days.
No, I think that's a thing in one country. I think they're doing
4 days.
It's in European countries like
it's a
Switzerland or
thing.
something like
Yeah,
that.
It's one of those
I
countries.
think they're trying to even bring it to the UK.
Yeah, some businesses are doing 4 days now.
Yeah.
Big.
And like
Big
it
to
doesn't
my workplace as well.
it doesn't reduce your productivity apparently. productivity isn't reduced.
I will not let it reduce mine. I want extra hard to get those 3 days off.
Now imagine, but like the problem with human beings is
Yeah, we'll take a
we're
piss.
insatiable.
We'll take a piss.
The issue is you will do those 4 days after like 15, 20 years, you start hearing, what about a 3 day week? What about a 3 day
Literally,
week?
this whole thing about working from home and working from the office.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, you were okay to go into
Get to the office, yeah.
But now,
But
it's,
Now everyone's
it's
looking for a
chore.
job that's like optional.
now it's a chore.
Yeah.
It's a proper chore. But I think I might want to go back to the office though.
You say, wait, how many days do you go in?
Whenever I want.
You see, you say that now.
Yeah.
It's
No,
when you're required to go in. That's when you don't want to go in.
No,
Anymore.
because my problem is my productivity.
Yeah, at home is.
My
it's
productivity
low.
at home is not as good as it could
That's
be.
your fault.
No, it is my fault.
Take the
I take the piss, but like I feel like I'm allegedly, yeah. Wow, I said that out loud. That's crazy. I feel like I'm the type of person that needs like an environment like that for me to feel like.
Because I used to take the piss as well when I was at home, but it was until when they now said you have to come in on every Wednesday. So that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna come in on Wednesday, but I'm gonna still do the work at home so that when I go into the office on Wednesday,
You're
I'm
chilling.
not doing as much work.
Okay.
You can only have 1 or 2. I
So-
can't come in and do work.
My guy said,
Well, actually, no, I do work. You know?
my guy goes, I'm going to go to the office to take the piss.
Most of it, I edit work.
Oh, for real?
No, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I edit the work that I'm giving to
Yeah,
my manager.
exactly.
Before you know it, he gets a call next week. The boys, anyone hiring?
Hardworking man in work.
Oh, man.
What about you? How's your week been?
Bro, I had a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
I napped in the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Like, I woke up, like, because I went to bed really late. I went to bed like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Woke up at like 12,
Yeah.
which is unusual. I did some work. Now I'm back to bed.
That sounds fantastic, bro.
It's
That's actually mad.
It was unusual because
Yeah.
I went like the whole week. I was sleeping like 3-4 hours a night, so it needed to happen.
4 hours a
it's
night,
not-
every day, every night. Why?
My sleep is just
Wait,
bad.
what time do you go to bed?
I try to be in bed for like 11.
What time do you actually sleep?
What time do you get up
I get up at 7:15, 7:30.
for work?
Yeah, but like if I get
7:15, don't you start at 9.
I start at 8,
Hey! But then you finish at like 5.
half 4.
Half 4. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
But if I get to bed for 11, I may not sleep till 1, 2, sometimes 3. It just depends.
Why?
Bro, sometimes I just my eyes just like this.
Life is hitting Tommy. He's just staring at the sky, bro.
Bro, yeah, it's mad.
I hear it though. That lack of sleep is. Bro, I didn't know how much. You know when people say all these like what do you call them entrepreneurs? Yeah.
It's talking to me.
No. Them ones on YouTube, right? They say, oh yeah, no sleep, like no rest, no sleep going. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, bro, sleep is good though.
It's good for the body.
Yeah,
Sleep.
it's good.
It's good. It's good to have a good mind and thing. Because when you don't get sleep, I realize when I don't get sleep, man, it doesn't really affect my mood, man. I'm still
You
alright.
make stupid
I
little
do
decisions
stupid
during the
stuff,
day.
man.
That's the problem. You just do
Stupid stuff.
stupid things like, bro, why did you do that?
Do you know what I mean? Shut up, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sleep, rest. Don't stop acting like it's Superman not to rest. Rest.
But do you think we sleep too much? Like they say the hours you're meant to sleep is like what 6 to 8 hours or something.
Yeah.
Is that not too much?
Nah, man.
No, I think 6 hours is fine.
Because there's been some weeks that I've gone like 5 hours and I'm fresh.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can be fresh. No, here's me. Like I sleep. I cannot sleep more than 5 hours. That's my body. Like this morning, last night I slept at 2. This morning I woke up at 7. It's just the way my body without an alarm. Do you know what I mean? But if and I could do that for weeks. But there's 1 week that will catch me.
Yeah,
And
that's what always happens to me.
Everything just locks off, and I'm zero. Like I can't do anything. I'm very
There was a
unproductive.
weekend where was it a Saturday or Friday? Either one. I woke up at like 2 or 3 p.m. I was like, yes, I'm rested. I was like, I'm well rested. When you wake up at those times,
Yeah.
and I went to bed at like 9 or 10.
Yeah, your body was tired. Your body was tired.
Yeah, you needed it.
Yeah. Those are one of those things. Like, have you ever slept, for example, on a holiday? Like, you had the week off or whatever it is, and you just like all you did was just sleep.
Yeah.
That's because your body was.
You needed it.
It
You
was.
needed it.
Do you know what I mean? It was almost falling over the edge.
Almost.
And I'm not a health expert, you know, but I know some things. But yeah, man. Do you know what? These police need to leave me alone. And leave John alone.
John. Okay.
Leave John alone.
John is is a friend of ours that always has issues either with his car
Or the
or
police.
with the police. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, like as in, and he's not a criminal. John is not a criminal.
Allegedly.
What? That's not a criminal. Just
John is a man of God, a child of
man
God.
of God. But these police, Angardi.
I just think you need to change your car.
You think so?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, that man are on you for something.
Down John, innit?
Yeah, they're on you for
Down
something.
John. Like, cause like, bro, there was one time John was going to the roundabout. And he saw the police, but they were just chilling. They were about to exit the roundabout. It's just this one there, the big
This one, yeah.
walking roundabout. Yeah, so
walking
they were coming from the hillbilly side.
Yeah.
They were just there. They were not moving. There was no cars like 1 a.m. There was no car. Do you understand? So these men were just chilling there, and John goes into the same
Area as them. They want to turn around.
They did it, and I saw them, and I I just like kept moving.
Jesus.
Speaking in tongues. Moving, and I was like, these men are gonna follow. It was just too bait. I don't know why it was too bait. Before I knew it, and there was 2 cars behind me, taxi cars behind me. I was just behind me, behind John.
Behind John.
Behind John.
Somebody will make a good spy.
and John was just, he kept going, and then these man, the UE overtook, and these are just one lady. So they overtook the 2 taxi guys, sped up, came behind John, and he was tailing. John was about to pull up. He was just about to pull up, like.
Yeah.
They didn't even put the lights on. You're just about to pull
That's
up.
the thing. They tell you to see how you're going to respond.
Exactly.
It's how you're going to respond.
So what I do, kept at the speed limit. I wasn't doing
even slow down, go out, press the brake.
I slowed down, just kept moving. These man just tailed me, and they tailed me for like 3 minutes.
And that's it.
Do you know how long that is?
A lifetime.
Do you know that's longer prayers than people do? I was praying for a long time. And I was asking God, I said, "Holy Spirit, okay, so what do you want me to do in this situation?" Bro, I started discussing with God.
That's because I was looking for direction in that moment.
Because usually, if you're sharp, you would if you're sharp, you just do the same thing. You won't do anything outrageous. The second you make, like, say you go into an industrial estate at 1 a.m. in the morning.
What are you doing?
All right.
What are you doing, pal?
Do you know what I mean? So by the
You better have the keys to one of those buildings. You better.
Better, bro. Do you know what was bad there? So if anyone knows, right, this Walkinstown Road, Vision Labs
It's down the road. Yeah. I said it's down the road.
I know.
Okay.
Wait, did you go in there?
Tried to. Case are locked.
Oh.
So I just
Long day. You're dodgy now. You're dodgy.
Yeah.
You're dodgy.
no, thank God they didn't see it. But I was literally about to go into the gate, so the gate was locked straight on, bro.
Yeah.
Just know that these man, and then so they pulled up beside me. So they finally put the thing on. They pulled up beside me, and just asked, because I had I think I had a do-rag on.
Yeah.
But I said, when these guys pull beside me,
You're gonna
I'm
take it
taking
off.
this do-rag off.
Yeah. No trouble.
Why? Because I don't want to look like what you.
Stereotype.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I took no trim, but I don't give a rat's. It's a guy.
Man, they don't give a
Yeah, they don't give a rat. Took the do-rag off, and then the guys are just like, "Oh, so where are you after?" Home, just dropping the staff home from work.
Yeah.
And he goes, "All right, everything on the window." Yeah, it is.
So I don't get anything on the window.
Like there's like low tax insurance, stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. But if you checked, big surprise.
Oh, so he didn't check.
You didn't check, bro. Step by my side. Just stay at my side.
That's favor.
Oh, wow.
I said,
That's
so
Wow.
what do you have everything? I said, yeah. I goes, but the NCT just booked it in. It's happening next week.
He always booking. John always just booking.
John is always booked his NCT in, bro. If they check the NCT, surprise, bro.
Do you have it booked?
I don't even want to say it online, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's long.
Do you want to mute it?
It's long.
No, it's fine.
No, let me just mute my wife. I'll see you guys can hear. Where am I? Number 2.
I know. I saw it.
NCT, is that like an MOT?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's been out since 2021.
No. John's has been out. John's has been out since 2021.
That is wild.
But it's crazy. And do you know what? I don't even think it's the grace of God anymore, man. I don't even think it's the grace of God.
You're just waiting to be caught.
Your rope is never finished.
Nah, it's booked in though. It's booked in for sure. I'm not even joking. It's booked in. John's NCT is booked in. But yeah.
Straight.
Oh, boys, I saw. It was weird, right? I think this is a bad thing that I'm gonna say, but maybe it's the way we think about things, right? I went for a cycle last night.
For a cycle?
Yeah, cycling.
You have a bike?
Nah, my brother has a bike. So I just rubbed it off my brother.
I said he went for a cycle.
Yeah, no, but I was cycling around Tyler yesterday. It was class. It was class. But then I went to the shops to get to get a drink. I'm not I went to this petrol station. Only place open around 12 a.m. So, but I saw a girl, right, like begging, like as in, she's probably homeless or whatever, trying to cope and everything. But genuinely, boys, you'd see her like as in she was. Let me just put it this way: she was good looking.
Okay.
This is weird.
Okay, where are you going with this?
No, hear me. She was like
Lang.
And she didn't. I don't know how to say that's not bad. Like she didn't look like she was supposed to be there.
Okay.
If you get,
I know.
Not like anybody's supposed to be there, but she didn't look like.
She didn't look the part.
She didn't look.
She didn't like the typical whatever
like,
you see.
what
I think I understand what you mean.
Bro, and I was just literally like, it must be really, really bad to see, like, for her to be like here. And then I didn't have any cash. I just had my card. But the amount of men given to her, like, just giving to helping her.
Pretty privileged.
Yeah, pretty
I was
privileged.
like, you know how mad that is? Like, because she's pretty, more people were willing to help. And because she didn't look the part, more people were willing to help.
I think that's probably even a human condition. Like, everyone favors prettiness. Everyone does.
I think it's true. Like, I was just like, even I might want them to help us out, but what I'm saying is like that's it's just mad to think that if you don't look like you're supposed to be in a specific situation, more people are willing to help. But if you look like you need the help a bit more, or so I don't know. Like if your clothes are ripped and everything, and you
smell.
you smell.
People are just like, go away from me.
I think it depends on how you ask for money as well. Because
some of these guys are so polite, man.
Yeah.
They'll tell you God bless you. They'll pray for you.
Even after you say no.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're feeling, should I go back? Nah.
It's mad, man.
Do you know what? I was actually thinking about something recently. It's the whole idea. So the world is going to a place of complete digitization, whereby you're not carrying any cash. I can't remember the last time I willfully went out and said I want to have cash. So what happens to the homeless people that you can't give money to?
Buy them food.
Yeah, a lot of them say no to it.
They say no to it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
they want money to spend the night in like a hostel.
Yeah, they want money to do things with, but like we are going to a place whereby we don't give money anymore. Our people don't carry money, so like they're going to be really, really affected by the fact that everything's being digitized.
POS?
Yeah, that's mad.
They don't have a bank account. Oh yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, you can't even rev like. Do you know what I mean? That's
My guy goes POS. You want to?
that's so crazy.
Yeah, but I think how to like get around that situation is probably just ask them what they need. Like, what do you need?
Yeah, but
can
you provide
A house.
Do you know what I mean?
A
Can you
room.
provide what they really, really need?
Stick them in our stuff for like 2 weeks or something.
But the issue is most people are not willing to do that. Like, whenever you see a homeless person, you're giving your spare change. You're not. No one is actively like, okay, I actually want to do something.
Money aside of the
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I want to do something specifically for you. Now, it's just like if I have spare, I'll give you.
Because I remember when I was working in a hostel, even like there will be bare homeless people outside, and someone that was staying in the hostel saw one of them. I said, "Can we check them in?" But I had to say no because it's the policy of the hostel not to check homeless people in. So I said no that one time, and then someone else asked again, like maybe like a week after, and I just said, because I was leaving anyway, so I just said, yeah, go
pull
in.
them in. Yeah, pull them in. Do you know what's mad though? You see, that also is convenience. Now, it's a good thing that they did, but they were checking out of a hostel. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If, like, for example, you meet someone at the petrol station, you're not going through the effort of ringing up a hostel. Can I pay for this person? Do you know what I mean? The convenience was that the person was coming out of it. Hey, I see some homeless people. Let's check them in. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's easy, as he was saying, like if you had spare change, you give it. But if it was something that you had to like plan for, not that many people care about like.
It's unintentional it's unplanned kindness. It's kindness nonetheless, but it's unplanned.
Yeah.
Like no, like very few people are like, okay, I'm leaving my house today for the specific purpose of helping homeless people. I don't think I've seen
Which is
anyone.
bad even.
It's bad. especially for us Christians. Not gonna lie.
Not expensive.
Especially for us Christians.
There are
As
some
a believer.
homeless outreach though. There's
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
homeless
they are.
outreach,
They are
so-
definitely.
Yeah, no. As in, the homeless outreaches. That's their whole purpose. Like that's a brilliant thing.
That's what
like,
they do, yeah.
That's what
No,
they.
I mean Christian homeless outreaches.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is like that's what was I think was all supposed to. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're all supposed to.
Because I've never partaken in anything of that nature.
I
Like
have
just
now. Don't put me that.
no, that's why I said I said I said I. Yeah, like it's just never something that's like, oh, I actually want to go out and do this.
Like,
Yeah.
what would be like the ratio of you giving to the homeless if you see them on the street?
The ratio of me having changed.
Yes, it's the amount of cash I have.
It's really and truly. It's really and truly, man, isn't it? Well, yeah, but
I don't have cash. I never have
That's
cash.
true, you know.
I never have cash.
And homelessness is a big problem, especially in Ireland as well.
yeah, it's a big one now. Yeah,
Massive
so
problem.
in Ireland, I think it's well, we're having a housing crisis at the moment in Ireland, but the rate of homelessness is just like soared, in the last few years as well.
And it's because most people can't even afford to even rent.
Yeah.
Not talk about buying a
Yeah,
home now.
the rent prices.
One
In
of the
this
things I think of, sorry to interrupt, is I think also a lot. There used to be back in the day, and people still have it like, oh, don't give it to them because they're gonna have to take drugs, right?
Yeah.
And I never forget this time where, when as a social worker, I had a client. So she was my client.
Yeah.
So I gave her money because I knew she was gonna go to Aldi and buy something. And one woman came to give me a lecture. And part of me just didn't want to tell her that was my client. I just thought, okay, let me let her speak. But it's the way she was like, this person does drugs. Thinking, I know this. I know.
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
a lecture. When I told you she lectured me for like 10 minutes, right? I didn't
About
feel like
not giving to the.
that specific person because it was in a particular area that obviously she must see this person.
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
I was actually angry, but because of my nature, and also I just felt confidentiality. I'm not going to tell you that's my client, but that's the mentality people have.
Yeah.
So even on Wednesday, actually, I was walking and one young black girl asked for money. No, for food. I said, look, I haven't got any cash. I was going back home. So I took her to Wendy's. She wanted Wendy's. But some of these homeless people, boy, she bought the most expensive. Like, every time I've helped homeless people, yeah, they don't buy $1.99 Happy Meal, you know. She spent 15 quid.
Wow.
15, yeah. And
She
then
was going in.
what I said to her is, let me get you some ready-made meals. Because what I did, I asked her questions.
Yeah.
Being a social worker, I asked her, like, do you have a probation officer? When did you come out? Where's your hostel? Just to get the information, I wanted to know and gather evidence. So I got her ready-made meals because I was like, okay, if you go to your uncle's house and you eat his food, you at least have 2 meals for tomorrow before you go to your mum's house in
makes
Wales
sense.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
makes
sense.
But again, I probably helped her because I don't know. I think it's just the way she approached me. Because and one of the things I would say is that I don't go out much, so I see the same homeless people. So for me, it's more about I see you every day. So it's kind of like if I gave you money every single day. So it might be like today I say, okay, let me support you and help you today, for example.
Yeah.
But with her, maybe because she was a young black girl, and I just felt for her, and I asked her, like, you know, she's got a degree, she was in a domestic violence situation. And I asked her, how did you get to this position? I really wanted to understand her story.
Yeah.
She was, she came out of prison for, I guess she called it self-defense. Her ex-boyfriend, who was a violent sister, attacked her. Allegedly, I don't know. And then she was pregnant as well. She wasn't showing. So I think all of that made me go, you know what, let me support you. And she knew what she wanted in food and stuff like that. So I do that as often as possible. But I don't know, I think I've got in a head that says people come to me because some people always come to me.
Come to you,
Always. One time my uncle came to me, like someone that would be our dad's. It was in London Bridge, and he was like, my sister. So I thought maybe he knew me. So I was like, oh, hi, uncle.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need money for gas. I'm so embarrassed. And I wanted to cry.
Yeah,
So he said, can you take out money? He said, you asked for 20. I gave him 40. I said, and he stood he was like so mad. He stood way behind. I gave him the money. And I just felt, thank God I didn't miss my train though. So I got 4 minutes to my train. But I saw his shame. I think he saw me because he thought, oh, this is like my daughter.
Yeah.
You know
to
what I'm
be
saying?
asking. Do you know what? So there's this is bad. Whenever I'm in London and I see the amount of black homeless people, it brings a new reality check to homelessness for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because like here there's not many. I don't believe
there's
so.
a few, but there's not like.
Do you know what? Not many homeless black people on the streets
that we've seen. Yeah,
that we've seen. You get what I'm trying to say? And I know there is, but you know, in terms of like finding housing, but like on the streets, like on that level, it's not many. But when I'm in London, I see so much more, and it's like, this is this is not only like, do you know what I mean? Like the idea of homelessness is like you might have it as only these type of people.
Yeah. You might think like it's just like drug addicts or people like that. But it could be your normal 9-to-5 person that just a bunch of financial decisions just put them in that situation.
Like it's really crazy how small little things can actually literally redirect your life.
Your whole life.
Like going off the story of that girl, imagine she met someone that she would have thought loved her or she loved as well. The person turned out to be abusive, and then you now ended your life in prison. And then you now have to come back and start your life again. God knows, start your life again with a child, and you're still connected to. It's actually so scary.
That's mad,
it's so scary.
Yeah, you meet like, and the thing is, because like if you're a woman and you're a child, you're gonna be housed, right? But a lot of men are not housed because they're men. And you find that some of them are like their jobs, they're educated. They sometimes they get a divorce, and then they don't have any family to be on their house, or maybe they can no longer sofa. You know, what do you call it?
Sofa surf, yeah.
So then they end up being on the street. So the circumstances of a lot of people, and I think a lot of people don't want that reality. That's why people walk past, because it's too close to home. It's a realization that could be.
That's very true.
That could be. All of them are smoking drugs. They're just they're sober.
Yeah. Do you know there's one black woman that. Okay, I don't know if I shared this last week on the pod, right? But there was a woman who, she came running. So okay, I'll give it context. There's a woman that always asks for money every time she sees me, and because
Tyler,
yeah, right.
I know the one.
Yeah. So so the first few times that I encountered her, I was like, for an auntie to be asking me
someone that could be a child
to be for money. No, the first time I gave her 10 quid, and then I was like, I was like, this must be deep for And I was in college. This was years ago. Do you know what I mean? So. Then I think I saw her a few more times. There's one time I saw her in town. I gave her like 15 quid. I was, if it was not someone else, I might just give her like 2 quid or 1 quid. But I was giving her like, actually, if I had some cash, I'd give her like all the cash I kind of had, and because I was like, it's deep. And then, but then there was times I was seeing her and I genuinely didn't have cash, and like then I kind of realized, it's not sustainable. At least for me, every time I see this woman to give her,
unless if you
cash.
Like intentionally set a budget aside. It's not sustainable.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not sustainable.
So
it's not every time you have cash as well.
Do you know what I mean? So I saw her and I had to disappoint her a few times. So it was weird, right? There was another woman that came to me just like last week. She came running to me, and she was a black woman, like an older woman, and I was like, oh my God, is this woman gonna ask me for cash? And I was like, because I felt bad, and it was one of those things where we've lost the sense of community, because I was literally gonna be like, no. Like, before she even said the word, I was about to be like, no, just kind of like keep on moving. And then she said, sorry, my son. I was like, hello, ma. And then she goes, can you help me call my phone? And because she lost the phone. I was like,
of course.
And I gave her my phone, and I was like, yo, call it. Like, because there was this weird thing of like, I wanted to push her away immediately. But I realized that, like, where's community? Like, why can't we just be humans to each other anymore?
We were saying that on Wednesday. Remember when we were saying that, like, now you don't know your neighbors anymore.
Yeah. Don't know your neighbors.
There was a time whereby, like, you knew about.
Your mom can leave you there. Like, left my neighbors.
Now it's.
But now you don't try that one.
So
never could be a serial killer or something, man.
Do you know what I mean? But it was just weird. I was like, I walked. She found her phone. And I felt good, but I was like, that's normal. That's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be something that you'd be like thinking about.
You
know what I mean? Even to get here, because I didn't set up my internet for whatever reasons. I have no internet. So when I got to, is it Eden Key? I jumped on the 27.
Yeah.
And then
rough, isn't it?
Huh?
27 is a bit mad.
Well, I didn't get to see the roughness.
It's called a Sunday.
I was like, he was like, oh, I said, oh, my card. And he said, oh, you need a leap card.
Card, yeah.
He was like, you can't be on this for free.
Oh, you thought you could pay by card.
Island is still,
you're still behind.
I was asking them in the airport. I was like, can you use my card? They're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So then the lady that I was asking, she was at the bus stop. I came back, I said, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm going to be late for this. I'm going to be late. And I was like, can I use your internet? She gave me her internet. I called an Uber. But people wouldn't do that nowadays. You would have
Yeah.
to beg. But she was like, yeah, of course. She didn't even speak much English. But she was like, yeah. She did it. She put a hotspot on, did
Yeah.
it for me. I called my Uber quickly. If not, I'd just be standing there walking up and down saying, please can I use somebody's internet?
Do you know what? It's one of those things, like, it depends on the Irish person you meet as well. Some Irish people, like,
Very
some
nice.
will tell you, like, no. Like,
Yeah.
someone will tell you, ask them, can you use the phone? And they'll tell you, no.
No.
And they'll keep walking,
Yeah.
So I've never seen bravery.
Even the way they say no,
Yeah.
they're so pompous
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
How can you be asking me that
I've
question?
never seen that level of bravery. They'll say no, and they'll look you dead in the eye and keep walking, like, why did you ask me? But there's some Irish people that would go, like,
Above and beyond.
For you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, don't worry, chicken, come here. Like, if they call you chicken, it's a bit racist, but, like,
Racist?
It's chicken.
No, it's not racist, is it?
No,
Black
it's
person.
no, it's
Don't worry.
it's a
Oh,
term of
they-
it. I love
It's
it.
not racist.
When I get called a chicken, I'm just like,
that means they like you.
No,
so
I hear
cute. I'll
no.
be like-
Chicken, no. Yeah, I don't understand the context. The chicken, when the older white lady calls you a chicken.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's nice, I know, I understand,
Yeah,
it's sweet.
yeah.
Oh, come here, chicken. But, like, there's a different type of chicken. Come here, chicken.
I've never experienced that one before.
Come here, chicken.
Come here, chicken. No, but, do you know what I mean? Like, some people really, really help you and like, give you the phone, help you. You know, really, I've seen it, like, in Ireland a lot of times. There's some Irish people.
But like
really,
in the UK though,
man, them on a fast.
fast-paced.
London is bad vibes.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I think I understand why people say that a lot. Like you go to London, it's a very, very fast paced city. And like whenever a city is fast like that, and that's the same kind of sentiment you hear about like places like New York, for example.
yeah.
Metropolitan.
Yeah, exactly. It's really fast paced. People don't have I have somewhere to go. My train is in 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Or like they would now say F off. You know what I mean?
I've
Like
been fortunate in situations where I have been unfortunate and I've been helped. So maybe because of maybe I come across nice. Because some people come across nice, some people come across funny. So when they want to ask for help, you're looking at them like, are you okay? But I've not experienced too much negativity when I've been stranded.
Do you think it's because you're a woman as well?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe that does.
yeah,
does
should
help.
I tell you why I make that judgment? Yeah, you know, like
If you would ask for help, yeah.
Imagine I was asking for help on the back roads of that Blanche Road. They're just very fast.
Remember I told you when my car broke down?
yeah.
Everyone just, I was doing this. I think they just said, nigger, man, nah.
That's a nigga, man.
no, you see, when it comes to Dublin, yeah, you could literally be sitting at the bus stop and strike a conversation with a stranger. It's but like I just don't see that happening in London.
It doesn't happen often, most of the time, but you do get that with certain types of people. You will. But yeah, it's true. Like, even though I'm very friendly, when I'm on the bus, I'm reading, I don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody spoke to me, I would speak to them.
Yeah,
But that's not how, I don't think that's the way we're supposed to be. I don't know, you're right, as in like, now, like if you go on the bus or the Lewis or the train,
anything. I don't want to.
everybody's glued to something. Everyone's looking, and I guess that's just passing time and stuff like that. I understand. I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but like I do be like I won't be having my phone on me and I'm just looking at everybody in the train like weirdo. Yeah,
People watch.
yeah. I'm just people watching, and everybody is just, nobody is interacting.
Yeah.
but we're beside
Phones.
people, but we're all engaged in a world here, which is a bit mad to me when I was like,
Scary.
A virtual world.
yeah, it's and,
And now
everyone's
that
like,
this chat GPT is becoming a proper, like,
Yeah.
do you see the way they're advertising this thing?
yeah, they're doing it like
It's
a madness.
crazy.
Have you seen the narrative of Christians?
What do you say?
What
They're saying that it's actually demonic.
I'm not even talking
Ah,
about
man,
technology.
come off that,
They
man.
said 5G was demonic as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think there's some people that's like, when there's a new technology that comes up, it's the devil. Because it's
the
too good to be
Antichrist.
true.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, yo, God has made us so advanced that we can make some great things. It doesn't have to be the devil. I don't think the devil's that
They're
creative.
even giving the devil too much.
Yeah,
credit.
too much credit. Do you know what I mean?
Fella is chilling, goes, all right.
Praise him some more.
It's mad. But
Hello Fresh.
oh yeah, let's get into
HelloFresh,
it, man.
HelloFresh.
Do you know what? Got a fantastic. I had a Thai spiced rice. With jasmine rice. Is it Thai spice? Oh,
What's
man.
the difference between jasmine rice and long grain rice?
Do you know what? Mine was just. Is it different?
No,
yeah?
I'm asking him.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Haven't the clue. But it was.
That's what you just said. There's a difference. I mean, I don't know, but there's a difference.
No, absolutely. Like, I had no help. No one helped me.
How long did you take it?
40 minutes.
Is that how long it's supposed to take?
It's supposed to take 30 minutes, but the reason I took 40 minutes because I was studying the steps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I studied the steps. I looked at all the steps and I read it properly. And then, bro, I chefed everything. My brother came back home, bro. I gave him some. He was like, bro, what's this? No, it was honestly, it was top notch.
Like you make meals that you have in the restaurants.
Yeah.
Bro, I had. Remember I was telling you, man. I had the tacos. Yeah. They were actually. I genuinely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was so good. It was so good.
What have you had this week?
I had steak and mashed potatoes last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hot, yeah. Serious.
Do you know?
stuff.
I feel like steak and mashed
I
potatoes.
think it wasn't normal steak as well. It was different.
Yeah.
The texture was.
I think
Maybe it was that wagyu one that we had in.
It's made.
It's made, yeah.
I think the texture of the meat that they give you is like.
Like meat is good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meat is good. Meat is good.
What about you? Like meat?
You like me? You vegan? Vegetarian? Pescatarian?
Oh yeah, so funny.
Anyways, WYHAPOD.
Yes.
For up to 75 euro off
to
the
70.
first 3 orders.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Get at that.
Up to
She actually came with gifts as well, you know.
Oh yeah, let's see what it is. What is that?
My millennium
My millennial
planner.
planner. My millennial. It was a planner. So you
Oh, it's a
can-
planner?
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
that's
can
class.
That's
plan
actually
your
cool.
day,
You need that.
I need it.
Yeah, you definitely need it.
a
plan
planner.
your day, rate your mood, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually probably the best gift I've ever received. This class.
So
yeah,
guys,
pen as well.
has a pen.
Oh yeah.
Did you make this, sir?
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, class. So I wanna. Okay, let's see this gift. Thank you so much. Let's see. Show them again. Wow.
Oh, that's really nice.
It's got
It's
stickers as
good
well.
quality as well. What the
It's
hell?
got stickers.
Ooh,
That's class. That's class.
stickers.
If you guys see me walking around with a planner, don't ask me any questions. I'm planning my life.
Oh, it has like quotes as well, isn't it? Like self-help quote. Oh, my mood is this way. Oh,
I'm going to be a better person this year. Be a better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Let's get into what you do, right? So I want to let's take a few things apart. So there's
I want to actually discuss when you said you when we knew
the
your
way you just
comment.
cut him off there.
Sorry.
I was gonna finish it, but
Yeah, but
don't worry.
but is that relationship between black people and therapy? It's like the relationship isn't good.
The relationship isn't
No, it isn't. And like, I guess, why do you think that is? And what do you think we could do to kind of like, I guess, improve it? It is improving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's improving.
It definitely
Yeah,
is because it's not like a taboo anymore as much
No,
as it
I
was.
think
a few years
the
ago.
question is, let's start off the way. Why was it a problem before?
Okay, so why was therapy seen as a problem? I guess we have to put it in the Western context, right? So Africans and Caribbeans of the diaspora in the Western concept, therapy was not accessible first and foremost.
Yeah.
So you got the cultural stuff in terms of don't tell nobody anything. You know, you don't speak. If you
Yeah.
come from a more Christian or Muslim background, it's jinns or demons. You know, that kind of thing. You've got all of that. You've got the religious aspect, but you've also got the fact that it wasn't accessible.
Yeah.
It's not an
Yeah.
accessible thing. It was inaccessible to majority of people unless you were of a certain class.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
middle class,
luxury,
like money.
actually. It's luxury to an extent.
'Cause
Yeah,
It's,
so-
it's expensive as well.
Yeah, it can be
Yeah,
very
it's
expensive.
expensive.
So it was not an accessible thing. Therapy was for people that had a lot of money and decided that they like. You know, people say, "I'm going rehab." How many?
Yeah.
People, how do you know? How many people do you know that go rehab? You know, that kind of like, how do you access rehab? I'm going rehab for 2 weeks. I come. So it was
Yeah.
like that. So now that therapy is becoming more mainstream, meaning that it's becoming more accessible, the conversation is what we're now having and saying, okay, we can now access it. We realize that as black people, historically, personally, culturally, we got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a lot of trauma that we carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're seeing it mess up our communities. I think if we're really, really honest now, especially our generation, Gen Zs and millennials, are seeing how our Gen X parents or baby boomer generation done amazing for what they could do, but we're left with tatters.
Yeah.
We're repeating really disgusting cycles.
Yeah.
Even if we don't see it in ourselves, we're seeing it around us, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to do something different. And therapy is part of that difference. And I add therapy to also coaching. Anything that's got a personal development part, I think is important.
Yeah.
Because I think what we have as a community, I don't just mean black community, generally, most people are not self-aware.
Speak on
Say that. No, sorry, I didn't hear you. Most people are not what?
People that are not self-aware,
Yeah, that's very
that.
true.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
I don't know, is anyone here watching Love is Blind?
I know why I started it
plan
yesterday.
to,
I started it
plan
yesterday.
to.
The
Oh, you
latest
started
season.
yesterday?
Yeah, I started it yesterday. Yeah, it
I've
looks
just
like
been
he's
hit-
giving up. The Kwame guy said he
Kwame.
wanted to call him-
Kwame.
He wanted to call himself Alex, which is brazy.
Wait, why?
Because I think maybe the alleging that he's one of those, cute.
Oh, so he wanted to call himself Alex on the show
Yeah, instead of
because he
Kwame.
didn't like his name Kwame.
Yeah, it might
It's
have
not even
raised-
Kwame, it's Kwame.
It
Kwame.
might have raised some questions.
What question? You're black, bro. Own it.
So the reason I want to give that example is just to use a reference point. So I'm trying to think of a reference point. But when you just see people who just don't have self-awareness, they'll come to you about an issue and you're like, you're part of the problem. You're a contributing factor. And
It's
that
not
is
that
most
you are the
people.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the
And that is
problem.
most people. They're not able to see how everyone's the problem.
Yeah.
Everyone's the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, no one likes me. Everyone's against me. It's like, but what are you doing to contribute to that problem, right?
Yeah.
So therapy is a mirror. And when you put a mirror up, what does it show? It shows yourself, right?
yeah.
It shows your blind spots.
Yeah.
It shows you things that you can't see.
I like
yourself.
that.
I like
Yeah,
that.
do you know what? I heard something like that before, right? That therapy really actually it doesn't. So some people think I want to go to therapy to help, as in to solve my problems, and people say like it's not to solve your problems, it's to make you aware of yourself and like how you operate
How
and
you're contributing
Yeah,
to
do you know
the
what I mean?
state of your life.
Do you know what I
It
mean?
gives you different alternatives. So, for
Yeah.
example, a typical thing, you're in a toxic relationship, you're going back. Therapy will give you an awareness of why you're going into that relationship, why you keep going back, and give you alternative routes that I don't have to be in this relationship. I don't have to be maybe in this job that I don't like, but I'm just doing it because my mum said I should be a doctor. And I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Therapy allows you to say, actually, I want to be a painter.
I want to be me.
I want to be a painter. So therapy is really about giving options. So I love to say it's a mirror because it's meant to, if it's done well and the person engages within therapy, it's meant to, show you your blind spots and help you deal with not only past issues, but, potential problems that will come in the future.
And then would you say once you've figured all that out, it's up to the person to like leave or like do something about what they found out?
It will always
Yeah,
be.
therapy cannot actually fix the issue. You got to do it yourself. Right?
So
Like
it
if I
depends on
make-
the person if they're open enough, if they're not stubborn, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the example you gave, the toxic relationship. If you know why you're going in and why you keep going back, and then you now figured out why you've done that, and you decide to stay, then it's on you now.
Yeah,
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
But-
Yes.
but-
Ultimately, everybody's responsible. So once you become 18, you are now responsible.
Yeah.
There really isn't excuses for people's behaviours, but there are explanations for
Explanations.
it.
Yeah.
There is understanding for
Like you
it.
can explain why R. Kelly did what he did, isn't it?
Yes.
How
Yeah.
did we get here? How did we get
No, but it's a very wild example, but I do understand what you're saying. You can't explain it. You can't excuse it.
Kind of
No
explain
excuse.
But it can't be
Explanation.
explained. It can't be explained.
There's an explanation for his psychopathology on why he feels like younger girls are, whatever. So that's what it does. But the thing is with therapy, the issue is because 6 weeks ain't enough, 6 months ain't enough. I think 1 year minimum. Because some people do tell me they had 6 sessions, and I'm like, I've worked on myself with 6 sessions. 6 sessions is good.
Oh,
You're
so you
just
say
still
like
saying hello.
the minimum like duration you're meant to spend in therapy is a year.
I wouldn't say what I would say is that if somebody said they've done a year, they are doing or done a year of therapy, I would say you've done something somewhat significant. Anything less than that, unless you're just dealing with a specific issue like maybe bereavement or a specific issue, maybe 6 weeks, 12 sessions, fair enough. But if you're saying that people say, oh, I've done the work, you meet someone, I've done the work.
Yeah.
Oh, how long were you in therapy? Oh yeah, I had 3 sessions. What work have you done in that? Because you've got to think about it, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of stuff is not going to be dealt with in 6 sessions.
Isn't it?
8 sessions.
Yeah,
Even in
like
12 months.
Human beings like you can't like
Or complex.
we're incredibly complex. Like what we go through in 6 months of 1 year alone
It's
can't be
crazy.
dealt with in those same 6 months.
Yeah. I think even when I was listening to I think it was Tim Ross, he said that he's still going to therapy.
I've been in it 8, 9 years.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
like it's like as in like you would think that everything's good. He's found out his trauma. He knows like how he operates and stuff like that. But he says I'm still going there because I forgot the name of the thing that he says. But he's in a big group now. He does I forgot what's
group
called.
therapy.
Yeah, group therapy, and he says it's called neuro something, but it's still channeling the way he thinks till this day. Like he still has to. I don't think he's doing much discovery, but he's doing more reprogramming.
Oh, it's a neurolinguistic programming.
I think something like that.
NLP.
Yeah, where where he's like reprogramming like his thoughts because like
You know your stuff.
yeah, well, I would hope so.
Do you know what I mean? I ain't doing doctor for no reason.
But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where you're like, even though he's 47, I think like he's still and he's he's comfortable with his past and stuff like that. He's still going to therapy and seeing this the necessity for it at this age. And I say like people do it for like 2 months and they're like, oh yeah, I've been there. I've talked to some people as well. Some people tell me like, yeah, I've been to therapy, and I'm like, how long? And they just tell you like 6 weeks or whatever it is, and you're like, I've never been to therapy, but I know that that's not even enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You probably dealt with half of an issue.
One issue.
You dealt half of one issue.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, I hear it.
Is there like a intersection between therapy and like faith? Is there a world where those two things kind of collide?
Do you mean clash or converge?
Converge.
Definitely.
Where do they? And also, sorry, where do they clash as well?
Yeah.
So you can do the converge first, but I want to see.
Yeah,
the
that's
clash
very
as well.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so this is how I see it. So I'm not. So some people would be like, people are doing Jesus and therapy and thing. I think to make it very, very simple, we are made up of a tripart being, right? Spirit, soul, and body. Yeah. When we become born again, the Holy Spirit inhabits our spirit. Our spirit was dead. It awakens, right?
Yeah.
Our soul composes of our will, mind and emotions.
Yeah.
And our body is our body, right? Where our flesh hangs, right? So when we go through trauma, when we go through life, it impacts our soul and our body.
Yeah, right.
When you get saved and you become born again, it awakens your spirit. But your soul
is
still
you're right.
having the effects of the sin of life, all of that stuff.
You're right.
So therapy deals with that.
Yeah.
So through sanctification and the word, you're learning how to master your spirit's mastering your soul. So your soul's mastering it goes like spirit, soul to body.
Yeah.
Therapy enables the will and your mind and your emotions to come under subjection to Christ.
Spirit, yeah, it's class.
If we see it like that,
that's really good. That's really good.
yeah.
That's really
If we see it like that, to me there is no clash.
Yeah.
But obviously your values align with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess the clash will be if obviously you're not a Christian.
Yes. So if you're not a Christian, then therapy it still helps.
Yes,
it still helps.
Soul mastery, all that. A lot really therapy is soul mastery.
Yeah.
It's being in control of your
Your
soul.
soul.
When you're triggered, you're not being moved by things that in the past that you're seeing in the present.
Yeah.
That's literally what therapy is trying to help you do. Yeah. That's the same with whether you're a believer or not. Yeah. Now, what a lot of believers feel is that, Jesus is enough. Just prayer is enough. Worship is enough. And he is enough.
Yeah.
We have to understand that he is enough. But where therapy is not an extra outside of the Lord thing. The only pair of people that can really stand on that are those that don't go doctors.
Yeah.
If you don't go doctor for nothing, then I would say fine, you're being consistent
in that idea. That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
And you don't eat. You're fasting for all of it.
Like you don't seek help for anything. Right? You can argue about school. Why do you take your child to school? Isn't that outside, quote unquote, of church curriculum, right?
Yeah.
So most people not like that. Most people will still go to their GP, right? Most Christians.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between with your soul?
Yeah.
The whole point of when you're reading the scripture, the Bible says that bring every thought captivity into subjection of Christ, right? The renewal of mind. Therapy is a renewal of mind. You're reprogramming neural pathways.
Yes.
The issue with prayer is that prayer can be an isolating activity.
Yeah.
Though you're doing it with the Lord and the Holy Spirit, me, I'm confused. People are praying, but we're not seeing people's prayer manifestation. So people are confused in their prayer. It's an isolated activity. Therapy is essentially you praying with another person, helping you deal with things that you can't see on your own. It's about communion and fellowship. Irrespective, even if your therapist is a believer or not, it's the idea that somebody is showing up a mirror to your soul and showing all of the issues that trauma and life and sin has impacted and that needs Christ to be present and seen in that.
Do you know why that's so good? That's so good. He's
Spat.
spat. He's spat. Do you know what? I remember like the necessity for I think therapy or just looking deeper. I think Jesus even showed it himself, right? So there's a time where he gets the guy in Mark chapter 5 that has a legion of demons, right? And he's cutting himself and he's going crazy and stuff like that. And then Jesus says to him, he runs to Jesus, and then Jesus says to him, come out of him, you spirit. And then nothing happens because the guy replied to Jesus saying, Jesus says, come out, you spirit. And he goes, how many of you were in there? And he goes, oh, we are legion. So Jesus was showing that you have to directly address what is actually the issue. Because spirit was the wrong term that was used. Legion, spirits, multiple. It was deeper than the one thing. That's why there was no reaction for the one thing. But Jesus was actually showing that you have to directly address the thing, and that's when there was a response. You know what I mean? So I feel like faith really. I know you pray and pray and pray and pray, but faith really is also addressing the direct thing that is causing this outward, I guess, issue and stuff like that. I think when you diminish it just to like, I don't need anything else. That's why you see, you have some people who, for example, they won't go to the doctor because they feel like it's all I need is just the word of God and Jesus. And yes, but he's also provided.
Thank you. You literally
like also provided
for issues like that.
Like there are tools that exist on this earth that like I think will benefit a human being. Full stop.
Like food.
Like you as a human.
People forget we're still flesh.
You as a human being will become better by doing these set things. Do you get me? And if you're also a Christian, guess what? It will make you a better Christian.
Iron sharpens iron. And the word counseling, it actually, there's a word within scripture. I think I need to get the word parenthesis, but there's a scriptural word that is more or less when they say counsel. That's where it comes from. It's about godly counsel. It's saying that the Bible says that if you come to form a plan, you need godly counsel. Right?
Sure.
And that's literally what therapy is.
So
for any Christians listening, please recognize and understand that you cannot walk this road alone. You cannot deal with unresolved issues on your own, because if you could deal with it, you'd have dealt with it. If you can deal with it, you've dealt with it. Right? So you need somebody else who is skilled in, let's just call it soul mastery. Because when you're what trauma does, trauma stops sanctification process.
Come on.
It stops the fruits of the Holy Spirit to come through. Because you will see, we see all the time, we see Christians and we think, but you're not kind. You're not that. A lot of that is trauma, life stuff. If they dealt with their issues, they'll be able to just be kind and loving and caring. They've been praying for 20 years and they're still horrible people. They're still nasty people. You come and you want to sit down, they'll be like, I've saved the seat. For who?
It's just who I am, just how I am. And the Bible says, be a new creature. All things have passed away.
That's so true.
I hear it. No, that's really, really, just the last thing like that, right? That's why something I've been battling with for a long time. And I've only just recently come to, not recently, over the last few years, come to realize that, okay, your salvation happens in a moment. You're saved once you believe. That's immediate thing. Whereas, and you still have to walk it out and all that type of stuff. But the sanctification process, the process of becoming more like Christ, is a journey that a lot of people needs to walk out.
That's why it's called a walk.
Yeah, it's called a walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. I think when I look at when Jesus says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free," right? That truth is it's not just a, not just a, the truth. That truth is something that, and the Bible says, "I wish all may be saved and then come to the knowledge of the truth." So that coming to the knowledge of the truth is a journey. That will set you free. There's layers. It's not just like a second. So that's why I talk to a lot of young people and say, just be patient and walk this thing out, work it out, but be patient, because you're not going to become like Christ tomorrow. You're not going to be like, it's something that you have to be patient with a little bit,
It's that same idea. Like Jesus waited 30 years to do the work, and it took him 3 years. It's like, if that doesn't exemplify patience, this is like, what else will?
Yeah, man.
Did you get me?
Man, I'm trying to rush. But okay, so that would be more the clash, right?
The clash. So people clash because they feel like. There's levels to it. So some people feel like mental illness, because it's all linked. Mental health, therapy. Yeah, a lot of it is demonic. So that means it's only the spiritual domain. And I think a lot of believers have not done a good job in understanding the spirit, soul, and body combination. And focus so much on the spirit that they've lost out on the soul and the body. So the world is really good with the body and the soul now, which is therapy and medicine. Whereas at the time, that was under the domain of Christians. A lot of the old school doctors 100 years ago were all believers. And to be honest with you, therapy, a lot of the heads of the fathers of therapy, like Freud, Jungian, a lot of them are Jewish, so they came from a religious background. And so there is a truth into the fact that the concepts of a lot of therapy is antichrist. I'm not going to sit here and act like when I'm not learning what I'm learning, I'm like, wow, this is really anti
like what?
kingdom. Just because because everything's about self. So one thing I don't like about therapy is it's very much about self. It's about self-actualization.
Would you say Stoicism as well is very antichrist? Well, I don't want to say that.
Yeah, what is Stoicism?
That's a philosophy though, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, the philosophy of Stoicism.
I think
Well, what is it? Sorry.
Yeah, break it down.
Can you break it down?
No.
I know.
It's about self-control.
Yeah, I know what
and
it
not
is. I
showing
just can't.
emotions.
Yeah, it's like not showing emotions, being very like self-regulated. You're not phased or shaken by things around you. That kind, like, they're very big rules that follow Stoicism. Yeah.
I think any concept or philosophy that's not founded on Christ is anti, but that doesn't mean it can't be used and harnessed, because elements of that makes sense, because that's self-control. That's the spirit of the Holy Spirit. Do you get what I mean? And that's faith, not being moved by what's around us, right? So there's lots of concepts within therapy and the different theories that's all about self. It's all about self-actualization. Do what you want. I don't believe in that. The believer is not do what I want, do what Christ wants. So that's where a believer I'm able to listen and been taught for how many years, but I'm able to assimilate that and put it under Christ. So when I work with my clients, whether they're saved or unsaved, I come from a biblical principled aspect. Even though, but the concepts are good. They're just normal concepts. They're concepts like, your boundaries. These are good things. Being boundaries, assertiveness. But just with maybe the principles behind that might be slightly unbiblical. But you can take the good out of the bad. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course. What do you think of these people? What do you think of manifestation and stuff like that?
I don't think that's biblical, no. I don't think it's biblical. New Age is very much creeping within the evangelical church. So
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think because we say, manifest. Because we say manifest as well, we use certain language, but we have to be very, very careful. In that, like, even energy. Some things are not bad in itself, but you have to now really listen to decipher. Are we using terminology that's very pseudo-spiritual? Right? When we say that the Lord, manifests my dreams, really what we're trying to say is that the actualization of faith.
Actualization.
Right? I call it a bridge. So this is, let's say you want £1 million is here, and right now you're on zero. You have to believe that you will have £1 million, and then that's the bridge. The bridge is getting a job, learning business skills, starting a business. That's the bridge that you go through to get that £1 million. Now, people might say, I manifested that. We have to also understand that there's a spiritual world.
Yes.
So there's good and evil operating. And a lot of these new age people, if they got saved, there will be prophets, there will be things. So the clairvoyants, the shamans, they're
spiritual. They're using their spiritual gifts.
Spirituality is not exclusive to Christians.
Exactly.
Right. So they are, because if you listen to the testimonies, people that are Reiki, that all of them that have come from that, they say they were consulting with demons. And one of the things that they say that is interesting is that the thing about the new age and getting into all of this stuff and even like horoscope, all of that, is that it feels good. You feel powered. You don't necessarily. It's only when you start going deeper, it gets really bad. And the thing about juju in Africa and in the Caribbean is that the way it is in the Western world is pretty. Jackie Hill said it really good. That New Age, all of that demonism in the Western world, it seems pretty. In Nigeria, you'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing chicken like that. But
like in Nigeria, you're doing something bad. Like from jump.
But the way it's done in the Western world is more prettified.
Nice,
no one's sitting there cutting a chicken. They're not doing it
nice
like that.
Clothes.
So it's done in a different way. The person doing New Age is sitting there as your boss, dressed up in a suit. But Baba is there with drags and rags.
That's so mad, right? So I literally my last talk was about idols, and it was the way I thought about idols before was the statues. And then so the way I felt like the spirit spoke it to me was there was a woman that I went to draw her that to a place outside Dublin to help her move some stuff for a 40th party. So I never met her. I just met her that one day.
You helped her?
I helped her and was in the house sitting down on the couch. She goes upstairs and then she comes back down, but I didn't recognize that it was her because she had put on like a whole face of makeup and she had all the like 40th birthday clothing and the whole, I'll show you that whole thing, right? And I was like, and then until she spoke, I didn't know it was the same woman. And then the Holy Spirit just reminded me. He says that that's idols. That's I guess what we'll talk about now. That's juju. It looks different, but it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
In Ireland, it could look like your boss. In Nigeria, it's looking like the man. It's the same thing, though. Do you know what I mean? And when people realize that, because that's why you have concepts now about good judge or good witches.
Not even that. That's some people will say like, you see the judge in Africa. They say no, that's your culture. That's your like.
Oh, Steph London's thing. You saw that?
Yeah. Don't
demonize.
Don't demonize your culture, but no, I'm gonna demonize that thing, man.
Because it's demonic. It's demonic. I would
What's very annoying about non-Africans, and I'm talking about the Africans that the African, but in the continent that talk about it like we don't know our own culture.
Yeah.
It's usually Americans.
Culture, we understand that it's good, but everybody knows. Even the paganists know that this is spiritual.
That's the whole like Beyonce thing. Remember that thing that she released, and she had like all the Shangos and the oceans in her video.
Yeah.
But people in the Western world just think, oh, it's just pretty. It's just
The
like
second
it's ancestry.
Yeah, exactly. Ancestors. The second
ancestors they're buried for a reason. They're ancestors for a reason.
Yeah, like the second I watched the video. I can't remember whatever it was. Yeah. I watched the video. The second I said, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, I see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you go on Twitter and you're just like, oh, she just. Our ancestors, this was so pretty. The imagery was so good. Imagery?
Even they said that about Halle Bailey did the new Mermaid.
Yeah.
They said it was based on Mama Wata.
Yeah.
I heard that say, but it was based on the mermaids in the sea and the Mama Wata. I said, hey, look at that. Look at Little Mermaid has now turned to Mama Wata spirit.
and it's become normalized. Like, that's something that like you should be used to seeing something like that. Like that's a normal thing. That's not normal, guys. It's weird.
Not.
But
the devices of
we need
devil.
more black African apologists to talk about the reality that look.
That's
but I think what we have to recognize though, so even though it's not great, it's because of I wasn't brought up in that way, but it's because of the way Christianity was pushed to a lot of Caribbeans and African Americans.
It's like it's seen as the white man religion.
Like I grew up in a Catholic school and the Church of England, but maybe because I grew up, my mum was very Pentecostal. I didn't have that mindset, even though I saw it in the thing. I just didn't take it seriously. So for me, God was just a spirit. It's never been a thing of what color is God. It's like that's a really weird question.
Honestly,
for some people, it was brainwashed into them that God is white.
No, I think it was brainwashed into me as well. Like,
no, because all you saw when you're growing up is a white man being portrayed as Jesus.
And when I would pray, like, I would imagine a white man. When I would think about God, when I talk about Jesus, I talk about a white man. Passion of Christ. The same picture. Like, what's his name? What's the guy's name?
I guess it was olive skin. Jewish, they're olive skin. They're still white. They're classed as white, but they're olive skin.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just, like, now I don't have a face to Jesus. Now when I pray, I don't put a face to him. Do you know what I mean? In fact, if I was to put a face, it would be dark, it would be kind of a darker, it would look like me. But do you know what I mean? Like, it was but it was like that white or God would have been like
that's Santa Claus.
in all white, in all white. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, this was unrealistic. I feel like now, weirdly enough, when I think of God, I think of light. As in, not like as in, I think of light.
Yeah, like a light.
I don't think of a
body.
A body.
Anyways, that's quite interesting. So you do leadership. I want to ask you because again we have to break up the CV. There's a lot of different things. Talk to me about this leadership or mentorship things that you do.
Yeah, so I guess with leadership, I don't know how it is in Ireland. I'm presumably it's quite similar that black people are underrepresented in leadership positions.
Oh,
right?
Of course.
And we recognise that we're a minority in this country. So we're not. I'm not the type of person that's saying that if there's 20 blacks in a company, there should be 20 blacks at the top of the thing. But it should be proportionate. Right. And it's really interesting when you look at every stat. We're overrepresented in prisons, overrepresented in mental health hospitals, overrepresented in homelessness. It's like we're overrepresented in everything. We're overrepresented we're likely to die in childbirth, but then we're underrepresented in where it matters, where the power is. And to me, that's significant because I'm the way I was raised was I'm very solution orientated, meaning that if there's an issue, what can we do to solve it? And I feel like the black community, I don't know if it includes Ireland, I don't know if it's quite similar, but I feel like with the black community, the problems that we are facing are not new problems. In my doctorate, what I'm highlighting is the fact that these are problems that we faced 30 years ago. 30 years ago, there were records that said black people are 2 to 3 times more likely to be sectioned under the Mental Health Act. it's the same thing. We're 4 times more likely to be sectioned. What has really changed? That means, what are the solutions that have been put down? Either they've been put down and not working, they're not effective, or we're not putting down. We're talking so much about the issues, want everyone to know that there are problems, but we're not doing anything to solve it. So when my leadership comes in, it's essentially I specify black women and essentially helping them have the leadership skills to be able to enter into the boardroom, to enter into those big senior positions, so that they can affect change and power. So that the people underground see the benefit, and not just on the ground, the world, because I don't know if it's the same I don't know if it includes Ireland, but the FTSE 100, which is basically the biggest 100 companies in the UK, there's no black CEO. I mean, that these are the companies that affect our economy.
Yeah.
The decisions that are being made, that every so often in Shade Bar we get angry at when we see, oh my God, how did Balenciaga do that? How did they do that? If there were black people in these boardrooms making decisions, certain things won't be occurring. Certain things won't be happening. So that's where it comes with leadership, that we need to have training specifically catered to black people. That's one of the solutions that research suggests. However, I'm also aware that we're usually always overqualified for the job anyways. So we'll do all of this training and still not get the position. And then that gives us enough evidence to say, don't sit there and tell me I don't fit the job requirements. There's definitely something racial going on, because I've got in the same 3-6 month training that the Joe Bloggers have gotten over there, and they've got in their position. I've gone through an extensive training provision to have the requisite skills to now be an executive team leader. Why am I not getting that job?
So because that's where I was gonna go, right? Because there's obviously, I want to I want to talk about the people who, as you just said, are overqualified, and that's what we see a lot of the times. The thing that annoys me is the one. So I'll break it down to this way: if I'm overqualified, I'm going to be frustrated. That's my feeling. I'm going to have the feeling of frustration and like injustice and all these type of things there. But then there's also people that come onto the same bandwagon, and they don't want to be overqualified. They don't want to do the work to have that undebatable CV.
Yeah.
But they just want to, because they're because you're from a minority community, you just also want to, and then rules it for us, because then that person will tell you, hey, you're not qualified, so you don't deserve a position. I do believe you have to be qualified to get into these. We're not just crying because we're black. Like, the frustration actually comes from genuine people who have worked hard, but overqualified and still underrepresented.
Who can do the job.
Yeah, who can do the job.
Able to do the job.
Yeah.
The reality is, not every black person can be in leadership. Not every white person can be. But those that can and want to be should have the opportunity to do. That's what I'm fighting for. Essentially saying, however,
what they call it? Equality of opportunity versus equality of
outcomes.
Yeah.
So they call it equity now.
Equity,
I guess I say this all these times. I don't care. You just want a job.
Man, that's what's a job.
You just want a job. But what I would say is this: also, we have to be ambitious as black people. Me personally, when I coach people, I say, look, once you enter the job, the day you enter, I'm ready to have an exit plan. Whether the exit plan is to go up or to leave. You can't. I don't know. I can't. Maybe it's just me. I can't just be in a job, just chilling. After your 6-month probation, 1-year probation, what are you doing? You need to rinse that company for everything that it gives you. Do every CPD, every professional development course that they give you. But that's to me, one of the main things that separates those that do go forward and those that don't. Because a lot of it is to do with complacency, fear. Sometimes, but then I will say that a lot of people get beat down in jobs. Like, if you're constantly compared or you're constantly undermined, it does go against your confidence.
Of course,
it destroys it. So you see a lot of people who you're like, they're just middle management, and you know they can be top level, and then when you actually talk to them, they're tired.
That's true.
They're tired. Life just hit them. And then when you got personal stuff going on as well, like, you know what? Let me not rock the boat. Let me not rock the boat in terms of like trying to find a new job, because to get a job itself, it's a job. So interview process is a skill. Some people they do so good at the interview, when they come to the job, you think, how did you get this job?
How did you get this job?
How did you get that? So I think that for us, millennials and Gen Zs, we need to be very ambitious. So the whole idea that everyone's got to be an entrepreneur, you can be an entrepreneur in a job. I mean, entrepreneur is just, you are creative, you are a risk taker. You can have that mindset.
Entrepreneur in a job.
Yeah, you can have that entrepreneurial
Is that different
spirit.
from being an entrepreneur? Did you know there's a thing called
I've
entrepreneur?
heard it before. Can you break that down for me?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. I didn't know if
If you can
being an
Google it, so I can
entrepreneur
see what
in
it
a
says.
job is called an
I've heard
entrepreneur.
of entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It could be, because the thing is, let me break it down, because I know everyone loves to do this. Not everyone's called to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
'Cause so
Shout
I
it.
don't-
Shout
not
it out.
everyone's called to be an entrepreneur. People sometimes just have multiple streams of income. Doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What we should be saying is have multiple streams of income, not running a business. Because for me personally, a lot of people that I hear, especially the younger generation that wants to be entrepreneurs, they just don't want to work. And for me, I can't work under anybody who hasn't worked before, because there's something you learn submitting under an authority.
Yeah.
You learn how to be a good manager, how to be a good boss, how
Good leader.
to do that. But so a lot of people, that's why you see a lot of these businesses, these young people that they do, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, I've got an idea, I want to make it work. You've got to manage people.
Yes.
Then when you manage people, like I've got employees that I'm responsible for their livelihood.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Income and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then when the markets change, you have to be adaptable. You have to, but most businesses, you have no money. So when I talk to people, I want to do a business, but I have no money. I say, okay, that's how we all start. Like, having no money is usually how you start. You either save, you fundraise, you do things. That's what an entrepreneur is. Entrepreneur is taking risk. They see a problem and they fight it. They break the bone until they get into the marrow. Right? Somebody that just wants to do a business, I don't want to do a 9 to 5, doesn't mean that you're an entrepreneur. There's a very, very big
Might
difference.
just be
in terms
lazy.
of-
You're a business
you don't
owner.
want to be told what to do.
You're a business owner.
Just want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And most entrepreneurs, most influencers, most YouTubers, they're not an entrepreneur, but really they're because you're only your own boss. That's you're self-employed, you're a freelancer.
Yeah.
It's only when you start managing a team.
That's what I was saying. There's a difference between self-employed and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, like self-employed, like you're still working. Like I would say, I'm kind of self-employed because I work for if I don't do it, nothing happens in the business. The business, like crumbles.
Yeah.
But an entrepreneur is able to. I could be in wherever and my business is
Everything
doing
runs.
its thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did you get the entrepreneur? What does it say?
Yes, a manager within a company who promotes innovative product development and marketing.
Okay, so I guess it's the spirit of innovation, and risk taking and creativity.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what jobs that you work in, but I'm sure the best jobs that you work in would be ones that make you thrive. They give you that space to be innovative, come up with ideas. The worst ones are ones that was like it's restricted, micromanaged.
Yeah. That's one of those things where I think a lot of people would do way more better in their workplaces if they had if they felt like this was their own project and they were able to
brought into the thing.
And speak on that real quick about leadership and making other people buy into your vision, because one thing I've realized is being a visionary and then having everybody buy into the vision is two different things, and very so I would get frustrated when I feel like people are not doing what I see, but then how do you communicate it? Yeah. So what
First,
would
you've got to know
you
your
say?
personality type.
Yeah.
You've got to know your personality type.
Yeah.
It's important because I think because when you think of visionary, you might think of someone who's very extroverted and very really warm, right? But visionaries come in all different shapes and sizes. You've got to first know your personality type. There are introverted visionaries.
Yeah.
There are introverted entrepreneurs that don't actually like people much. They can only give you a certain amount of time. So I think it's important to know your personality. You've got to understand the transformation of change. How do people buy into things? How do you buy into something? How do you buy something? It's believing that you're making a difference. It's believing that you're contributing to something that's greater than yourself. Right? If you're not able to communicate, right, that this thing, so my business that basically provides affordable mental health therapy to Black and Asian individuals, my team, they believe in that because they understand that this is a massive problem. And that my company is literally helping thousands of people, I guess we would say, destroyed generational trauma.
Crazy.
I've helped people tell me through my different counsellors, frontline therapists saved their life. People wanted to unalive themselves. So that's something bigger than just myself, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm looking for employees and teams and I'm sharing that, you want to see that passion. You want to see somebody who's like, I want to help people. I'm so passionate about my community. I want them to do better. Then okay, I can work with your passion. All the other skills, we can develop that. But I can work with your passion because it means that, not that I want you to be doing 9 to 8, but it means that in moments where you're like, crap, I've got to do work. You're not going begrudgingly, I've got to do work. You're like, no, you're excited. All my team tell me they're excited to come to work because they know what they're doing is for the greater good, even in amongst the difficulties, even amongst maybe the clients that are ungrateful, the counsellors that are difficult. It's because we are literally creating a situation where 3-4 years ago, a lot of Black and Asian people did not have access to therapy. Now they have access to therapy. Isn't that an amazing thing? That's something to buy. Now, it doesn't always have to be a social good. It could be purely profit, but it's the idea that you're transforming. Because the whole idea of business is that you see anything, fill it. You see a problem, you identify it, you provide a solution to it.
Yeah. And the satisfaction comes from seeing the reward comes from seeing it, like
the end result, seeing the change.
Do you know what I was listening to this morning, right? It's burnout, right? About how people get burnt out. And it's like, so there's high stress and then there's low control. And the low control is like you're not able to control people, right? For example, so I'm working very hard as the leader of the organization, but I'm not able to control how people's reactions or people's outputs, or I'm not able to control that. And then after the low control, there's low reward. So if I feel like I'm stressed and there's no control and there's low reward, I feel burnt out. But I can balance it out if there's high reward. Then I don't, like, the burnout doesn't, I don't feel like it's burnout because there's a high reward. But if there's no reward, you get burnt out and you're like, oh, I'm doing all this and
for nothing, basically.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like the reward, when people see rewards, they're like, it's encouraging to go again, and then 2 is like, you don't get like burnt out to that level.
And to add to the other question you asked, right, it's also you've got to be okay that they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. The thing about a lot of business owners, a lot of leaders, is that you feel that you're the only person that can do the job well, right? Yeah, and in some certain rare cases that is, but a good entrepreneurs, I'm only good at certain things. Yeah. There's certain things that I'm not good at. I'm not good at admin, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Yeah. You can do it.
You need to delegate.
Yes. But then trust that you're going to make mistakes and say, okay, I'm going to give grace for the mistakes, right? Yeah. Because if so for example, when some of my team members have made mistakes, right, they come to me, I've made a mistake, I say, okay, you told me, what do you want to shout and scream at you? What do you do? And then the way they react is like, oh my God, it's like you didn't they've been so hard on themselves more. So why do I need to be hard on you more? You've done it, shouldn't happen again. I teach you how it shouldn't happen again, and we move forward on that. I find that better, and maybe because I've been bullied at work, I've had bad managers. Telling me off in front of people, all of this different stuff. I was like, I would never let anyone experience that, again. And I see the difference. Because when I was bullied at work, though I did my job, I hated it. Just went in and left. The difference between creating an environment that you're allowed to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and grow. But we have to be okay with that. And a lot of business owners are scared of that because they can cost money. The mistakes I'm talking about cost money, thousands of pounds. But I'm aware that's going to occur, and it's never happened again since that happened. But I think if I was reacted in a typical way of screaming, shouting, there's a typical unhealthy ways of reacting. A lot of people react in that way. Then that person probably would have left. And let me just say that when you become an entrepreneur, trauma shows up. You need therapy then. Trauma shows up. Because you got to think about it. When you're an entrepreneur, you're betting on yourself. You ain't got there's no net. There's no net. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your product. You got to believe in your service. You got to pitch to investors. You got to funders. You got to believe in yourself. When someone says, "What's your business?" This hand here, this is the best hand, you know. But this hand's the best hand. You see all the creases. It takes a lot. So you find that a lot of entrepreneurs, why you hear a lot of people, business owners, and you think, the way they rule their company is not good because their trauma seeps through. They'll just talk to you anyhow. They'll be disgusting towards you, disrespectful towards you. A lot. That's just the trauma coming out because a high intense environment will show people's real selves.
Like so the entrepreneur that like has gone to each investor and has received no 1 billion times is like, he's built up some level. I don't know what the word is.
Resilience, some level. They're formidable. Because there's a formidability in that because if you're being, we even don't apply for a job, you get no 5 times. We're already thinking, I'm sad or how many more job applications? Because you start to feel like, is it me? That's that, and that is where I'm saying that therapy really helps, or sometimes coaching, because you have to separate the rejection from you as a person.
Okay.
Because
so it's the rejection of the idea.
They just don't understand it. Because same as a job, right? If you apply for a job, you be rejected. Don't you sometimes feel like, am I not good enough? You start doubting your ability. It's like, no, that wasn't meant for you. Especially if you're believing, it wasn't God's will. But even if you're not, it's like, that wasn't meant for me. That wasn't the right thing for me. And I think, but when you get more than one, maybe 2 or 3, sometimes 10, 15, it takes a lot. Because I see it just see people applying for jobs. I've got friends applying for jobs. They're already like, I don't know, man. Like I feel despondent. I feel depressed because it really knocks you.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is to do with also the way we're raised as society's kids. We're not raised to understand rejection growing up.
Yeah.
There's some kids that get rejected so much when they're kids. They're the ones doing mad because they've learned to be rejected. But a lot of us, we don't. When we get rejected, sorry.
Now we have. I don't.
Participation trophies.
Exactly. We have participation prizes. It's just. I know it's not directly linked to rejection, but it's like.
But it feeds into it.
It
It feeds
feeds
into
into
the whole
when you're
idea.
telling people like we all win here and nobody's a loser.
Sometimes you lose and it's
Sometimes
fine.
you lose.
And it's fine.
And it's fine, and it's
hurts.
okay to know that feeling of loss.
Yeah.
Because some people don't know, and then when they now lose in the future, that's when they now go.
They
all
lose
out
their
and
mind.
Like
Some
lose
some
their
people,
minds.
some people will say like if someone says no to me or if I get rejected, I'm more grateful to God because that person wasn't going to do like, for example, if I said this is the best SD card, can you invest in it, and you say no, I'm like, thank God you didn't say yes, because they have so much belief in this thing, and that God is like,
Guarding
this
it,
thing, that the right person will say yes.
Yeah.
So the wrong person saying no doesn't actually offend them, doesn't actually make them feel bad. It's like they're actually grateful for it because like you weren't supposed to do this. Then if you did it, you would destroy this thing. So that's how some people like navigate that whole world of rejection. And I guess
you gotta have a bit of Kanye in you.
Yeah.
That's exceptional people. Sometimes, not all the time, but can border on arrogance because you got to believe in yourself so much. To the point where it just seems like, are you okay? Like you obviously with the Lord, it's a bit more humble, but it's the idea that, look, I am the best thing, or whatever it is that I'm doing is the best thing since sliced bread.
Since sliced bread.
If not, the world of business, the world of even corporate work is tough.
Yeah, it is.
It's tough.
Yeah.
If you're in a boardroom, you can get chewed out. You present your idea, they're gonna say, what is this? Can't do something in 24 hours. You're gonna go and cry under your bed. No, that 24 hours you're not sleeping.
High
you're drinking
intensity.
coffee, and you're creating the best product, so your CEO can approve it.
Yeah, you're right. I think just to end off on that whole note, like I think there was I don't know who I was listening to, but was saying like we're artists or creative people, they find it hard to separate themselves from their art.
Yeah.
So like if I drew this or painted because I'm a painter and I did all these things and I said it and you said that's rubbish, like it feels like a rejection to what I've like my investment myself. So I can understand why people feel that way, but it's good to I guess separate those things, and especially in environments that needs that separation. It's important. You know what I mean? If you had to reproduce that thing in 24 hours, you can't cry. or cry quickly. Cry quickly.
Just do it.
Yeah. I think it's been a great chat.
It's a phenomenal conversation, to be honest.
Yeah.
I learned what despondent means today, which is very good. It means in low spirits from loss of hope or courage.
Oh, serious.
Of hope of.
I've learned that Henry Ford created
There you go. There you
Man, he's
go.
a good guy.
Bless him.
Nah.
Where's your head up, brother?
Therapy, man.
Yeah, bro.
I think it's probably something that I need to, bite the bullet and start.
Especially before you get married.
Yeah, I've heard that's another. I feel like that's another. It's a big revealer.
I actually don't think you should get married without having individual therapy.
God damn.
The issues
So
that
do you want to run or can we just continue? Do you mind?
Yeah, I don't mind.
You know what?
Yeah.
Snow has to dip, right?
But then I want to have this conversation.
You have to
Let's go.
run,
Let's go. 20 minutes.
You can't do 20?
You can do 15. Let's go.
You can do 10.
Let's go 15.
Let's go 15.
That's good.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, do you know what? If you need to run, fly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, please. Let's go into that. So you need to do relationship before marriage.
Yeah, because the thing is, think about it, right? It depends on everyone's context, whether saved or unsaved. People are getting into relationships at 16, 17.
Yeah.
Falling in love, whatever they think that is, right?
Yeah.
Having heartbreaking.
God.
Guys are getting broken at 16 and becoming savage for like 10 years.
Yeah.
You now want to settle down. All of the issues, all the podcasts that we're hearing, all you men podcasts, ain't it just about talking about relationship and the issues and everyone, the body count, all this different stuff, right? So basically, all of this trauma, all of this baggage, all of this stuff, then you expect your unhealed self to meet another unhealed person, come together and make marriage work. And we know that marriage is 50% likely to divorce, both in the Christian world and outside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we need to begin to undo a lot of our own stuff so that more whole people can come together.
Sorry, the way you even said that almost makes it seem like the idea of marriage is stupid if you haven't done the work.
Yeah.
Because you're
It's almost
basic,
like you're going into it blind.
bro. If I ask you to invest in something and there's a 50% of it, there's a 50% chance of it failing. You're gonna put your money in your pocket.
Yeah. You're going to do homework. You're going to speak to who you need to speak to understand that.
So why not do the work that's required for you to increase the chances of it being successful for yourself?
Marriage is most likely, especially for men, but generally for everyone, is probably the most important decision that you make in your life. It will make you or break you.
Wow.
And we go into that just, I love him.
Hi,
I love her.
Jesus. Can I ask
Or
this?
Christians, God said in a dream, you're my wife, the rib of my rib, the blood of my bone.
Can I ask what questions do I ask? Okay, what questions either does my therapist ask me, or do I? What conversation am I having with my therapist in regards to, say for example, I'm about to get married in 3 months.
That one is little. No,
Is
it's
it?
good.
I don't know. Okay,
I didn't
in a
mean
year,
to do it before.
in a year's time,
Okay.
I'm gonna get married in a year's time, right? Amen. No, Jesus, maybe I'm prophesying. But I say I'm gonna get married in a year's time. What is the conversation I'm having with my therapist? Like, as in, is there something I need to? Yeah. What's
I mean, like, what questions would he or she have to ask you?
Ask me, or what would I be?
So if somebody came to me and said they're getting married in 1 year and they want to have individual therapy because they recognize they just want to be a better husband, better wife, I would say, well, first of all, you want to be a better person.
Okay.
So the goal is to be a better wife. That was the reason. Your goal coming was to be a better husband, wife, but you're leaving to be just a better human being.
Yeah.
I would say that's going to be there. You'll never forget why you came to therapy. That's not what I'm working on, because if I make you a better human being, you'll be a better husband or a better wife. So the then goal would be like any kind of therapy. Let's start to go and explore who you are. Why do you act the way you do? Because marriage heightens that. Yeah. Right? So me and my husband, it heightens that. So at the end of the day, marriage is where you see, marriage is a mirror. So same therapy is a mirror, marriage is a mirror. The difference is you haven't got a trained person there to facilitate your process.
Yes.
Both of you are trying to get each other's, say your point and say that point, trying to communicate all of this different stuff. So it's important that you understand who you are before you go into marriage. Most people don't know who they are. Yeah. As I said, lack of self-awareness. People think they know who they are, but they don't know who they are. Yeah. And then when you find out who you are in marriage, it's very dangerous. Too many marriages. And
sometimes it's too late as well, isn't it?
The thing is, God's grace is there and God is sufficient, and it's not too late. But the issue is that even with believers, we're really focusing now on unbelievers, the sanctity of marriage is not even there anymore. Because marriage, to me, is a gift. It's not a given. It's not something you deserve. It's a gift. Right? So I think if we have that, that's first. People feel like they're entitled to marriage.
Why do you say that?
Because marriage reflects Christ and his bride. Do you just want to? Do you just want to reflect? It's a sobering thing. So the husband represents Christ sacrificing and dying. Do you know what it means to die for your wife and your children? Instead, what men do is just, I am the head. Because I have a D. I'm the head. Listen to me. Follow me. First and foremost, the first responsibility of a husband is the idea that he has to die for his children and his wife. Then the wife represents the body, which submits her will, her emotions to her head. And as he submits to Christ, a lot of men are not under any authority. They're not accountable. So any ladies here, do not date a man who is not under any authority.
Yo, can you speak that out louder, please, for the man them and the girl them?
Do not date a man who's not under any authority. Doesn't mean no. Who does he regulate? Is he under any level of mentorship, guidance? If he's not under anything like that, it's dangerous. That's why that same one guy has been with so many girls in church, and the girls are there crying. That's what happened, because there's no accountability. So a man that's not under a head is a very dangerous person, and a woman who cannot submit, right? Who hasn't had a father figure. So if I haven't got a father, so I had to submit to my elders in my communities to before I could even get married. I never had a father, so I don't even know what. So many of us, it's not our fault. Yeah. But before she's pretty, she's prayer warrior. Who is she submitted to? What elder is she submitted to? Does she understand what it is then to submit to you? Because you're working out as you go along as well. Yeah. You're work in progress. But these are issues that we don't do until we date each other. Doesn't make sense. We're only figuring out when we're dating each other. Then we get married, and then 2 years later you're having issues and having problems.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there won't be problems irrespective of that.
Yeah.
But it helps. You're giving yourself a better starter. And I think I said marriage is it's probably the most sacred institution that I think if more of us understood that, we wouldn't rush into it. When I was about to get married to my husband, I was scared. Because I couldn't believe, I was like, I've been wanting this year, but when I really think about it, I have to present the body of Christ. Hi, Lord, this one is serious.
Yeah,
I'm not representing
serious.
myself. Like, it's serious. Marriage is so sacred that he said in the Bible that marriage is like Christ and his bride. He didn't use like donkey or goat.
Yeah.
He used the most
Himself.
important. He used Easter. This is what we're representing now. Christ resurrected.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
used the King of Kings, Lord of Lords as representation of what marriage is.
Crazy.
And we go in it willy-nilly, and 50% of people get divorced.
That divorce rate is intriguing to me, and I always ask everybody that's married, or we always have this kind of conversation. Is like, what do I not know? Now, so I know I'm getting married and saying yes, I do to the woman, to the woman I know. So everything I know about her is what I'm saying yes, I do to. But I'm also saying I do to what I don't know.
Yes.
What is that thing? I know my own case is gonna be individual, but that thing, like I'm
You
so,
did your own
So the
session.
question,
I do.
the most important question you ask everyone, male or female, is the question that you put is this: can you? So let's say you're with somebody, you're dating somebody, you're recording somebody. The question you need to ask yourself is: can you live with what cannot change? Because you don't go into marriage thinking that person will change. So the good and the bad that person presents right now that you don't know will change or not, can you live with that? The issue is that many of us feel it will change. We hope it will change. That bad, maybe that small anger issue that person has, it will change in marriage. Hey,
Send that
it
to
may
me,
or may
yeah.
not change in marriage.
Yeah.
So the question really is, can you live
but what you can't change.
with what you cannot change?
Jeez.
And if you cannot live with that, then stop the brakes.
Would you even say, can you live with the unknown?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
that
deep, that's
the
deep.
unknown, because you said it. When you say yes to a person, you're saying yes to what you see right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's
yeah.
going to come in the future. God forbid, cancer.
Yeah.
God forbid, amputation. God forbid,
God
you don't-
forbid.
anything
God
like that.
forbid.
Anything.
Right now,
anything.
you're two maybe able-bodied people.
Yeah. Because even when women, when they go through different stages, when they're pregnant, when they have a kid, it's the same person, but different people altogether.
Yeah.
Like they might have mood swings. Yeah, can you live with that? And
person will change.
can you understand why she's having
Yeah,
those kind
yeah.
of mood
Yeah.
swings?
Are you
isn't it
are you
depression
patient
when they have
enough?
kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Things change.
patient
Are you
enough?
patient enough?
Miscarriages, or not, or your wife can't have children, or you can't give birth. So what happens now?
So many factors.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. That's the hard. So that's the reality of marriage. You know, for a lot of people, where there's some things that again you cannot change that I now have to live with, and then the frustration is that I didn't sign up to live with the thing that I cannot
Yeah.
change. I didn't sign up for it. But then you did though. But you didn't think.
In our nature, we naturally think we can change people.
Yeah.
The same with friendships, right? You got friends and you think, I'm sure you will change. If you will stop being late, you'll stop being late. 10 years like, this
This is who he is.
It zooms you up.
Late, yeah.
Whoops, you are.
You'll be late to your wedding. You know what happens? You'll be late to your wedding. And
Don't
here's
be
a ring.
surprised.
And then you even like, how dare you? This one's always late. So you give the person that's late, your best man, the ring.
Yeah.
And you're all waiting for the guy on the wedding
You
day.
made him your best man.
That's your own fault.
It goes. I don't know if it's called philosophy, but it was a saying: don't go by patterns. Don't go by potential. Go by patterns.
Yeah.
Like if someone shows you that they're already always going late, don't be surprised when they do. Same with your partner. If the partner shows you that they consistently do this, or they don't save money, or they're bad with this type of thing, don't be surprised when you can't change it. You know, don't think that they have the potential to be better with money. Of course, everyone has the potential to be better with money, but look at the pattern and don't be frustrated if they don't change it. You know what I mean? Because that's what you will be frustrated, but it's what you kind of signed up for.
It means they're stubborn, and when you get married, you realize how stubborn you are. It's not as easy. The whole idea of woman submitting to man, iron sharpen iron. That's the reason why most marriage couples say it's work. It's work.
Does that work? The aspect, because I think a lot of young people going into marriage think of just the beauty of it. It's hard to fathom the work aspect, or Sorry, and.
I have to
yes,
dip, man.
sorry, yes, yeah. Later, man. Take it. Go. Let's. That's.
You know what? So I'll come and join you.
He's working on that.
Your session now.
Therapy session 101.
Nice to meet you.
That work aspect of that we don't see, that we don't know. So as I was saying, you go into, you think you're going into marriage with like, oh, I love her. We're going to. I can't wait for the days we're gonna walk in the park. I can't wait for us to have our kids. I can't wait for us to have our house and all those like amazing moments. It's like naturally we just think about those things, and that's the dominating thought when we think of marriage.
We don't tend to just look at the future and think of the bad.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Or the potential of the bad happening.
Yeah.
That's not how human beings do things. So I don't anyway.
Exactly. So when I'm thinking, I think there's gonna be bad. I know there's gonna be. I've talked to a lot of married people. We've heard from a lot of married people that listen, it's work. There's some things that you're not gonna like potentially, and just a lot of different things. But when you say work, how does one prepare for work, or does one just say, when I get there, I'll work?
I think I guess what I would say, you've got to be prepared with marriage, like anything, like they always say, like you can only prepare to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I guess it's really about your mentality.
Yeah.
And what you truly understand what marriage is, the sacredness of marriage.
Yeah.
So, for example, one thing I love about my elder, when he says, when he's like, if he's like intervening between a married couple, he says, I'm not on anyone's side, I'm on the covenant side. But you don't hear that enough. It's always about like it's about the covenant.
Yeah.
The covenant is what I'm preserving, because the covenant is representing Christ and his bride.
And his bride, yeah.
So he is a convener of the covenant, making sure that the covenant lasts. And I think if more people understood the representation of what it is, then they'll understand that work is how you just work with everything, with your friends, relationship, being intentional.
Yeah.
A lot of it's being intentional. Work is a lot of it's about being intentional, because you can get complacent in marriage. You can forget things. You can go into because remember, you've got two different individuals coming together to be one.
Yeah.
It's even hard to be one with Christ.
Yeah.
Be one with Christ with your partner to be one with Christ.
Yeah.
So that is the work. The work is trying to understand yourself in Christ with your partner, as you both changing and evolving as life goes on. Your wants and your needs are changing. What you said that you wanted now was now different to what you want now. Your needs are changing. As you're changing, the world is changing. Who expected the pandemic? We didn't expect. That changed up a lot of things.
I can imagine the impact of that on so many marriages.
A lot of breakdown. Yeah, because they were faced to be with each other in confined spaces.
It's like I used to get 9-10 hours away from you every day.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any time away from you at all.
And sometimes people don't talk. Some couples don't actually speak.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How long are you married?
2020.
Okay. What's the one thing you would say about like marriage to an unmarried couple? Would it be what you said earlier, or is it something else?
I will say this. I would say be sober.
Okay.
Don't go into just like, be excited. Of course, it's an amazing thing. Marriage is a
Just be
beautiful
sober.
thing, but be sober. Understand the institution you're signing up to and the representation that you have and the responsibility that God has placed. And because I see it as a gift, meaning that because not everybody gets married, that's why I see it's a gift.
It's a gift, yeah.
I don't think it's an entitled thing. Like, I deserve to get married. Even children, I see it's a gift. If my womb is able to carry a child, I'll be grateful. If it isn't, then we'll look at other ways. So when you see things as a gift, you hold it more precious because you realize that not everybody gets this gift.
It's true.
But if you see it as you're entitled to it, it's an entitlement now. I deserve to be married. I should be married. I'm
And
married.
you make it work wherever way you can.
Yeah, whatever way you can.
And that's where mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Because you see people around you, some of your friends, you'll be getting married, some of your friends are not getting married. You start to realize that, this one really is a gift. Because not everybody will get married. Or people get married and you think, they realize they married the wrong person. And you're like, let me be happy with the one that I've got. So when you are aware, that's what they say, God says that children are a gift. When you understand that this child is the Lord's, I can't deal with my child anyhow. It's not my child. So even some of our parents forget, our African parents, they think they belong to them.
I born you.
I born you. No, we're a gift. And some of our parents didn't handle us right.
What's the role of humility in relationships and marriage? Humility, because I've heard a lot of people talk about humility, and I think it's one of the things that I think about a lot. Like, for example, the as you said, it's a gift. It's the representation, is a reflection of Christ and the church. Christ humbled himself, right? And submission in its nature is humility. You know, so like I understand that, but I think the reality of that sometimes is difficult for some people to grasp, because like it's a daily humility. Like you can be humble when somebody, you know, when like, you know, everyone's watching.
When you're wrong.
Yeah, when you're when
You
you're
can be humble when you're wrong.
yeah.
But like, can you be humble when you don't feel like you're wrong?
yeah, you don't feel like you're wrong, you know. So like, what's that role of humility?
You basically touched it. Humility is about not trying to be right. Because a lot of relationships, so when I deal with a lot of couples, a lot of it is, I'm right, she's wrong, or she's wrong. I'm wrong, he's right.
Yeah.
And it's not about that. It's about wanting to just understand each other than trying to be heard. A lot of arguments is because we're all trying to both be heard. I'm not hearing you. I want you to hear me.
Yeah.
You must hear me because I'm tired. You've been doing this all the time. You put the seat up and never flush the toilet. And it's like, actually, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about saying, so the way I would do it if I do in a couples thing, it would be like, okay, what I'm hearing is that X person just wants to be heard. They're not feeling seen. Because when people are arguing, right, you're arguing from your wounds, your points.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is maybe for a man, maybe I just want to be respected.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm respected in my household.
Yeah.
A woman just wants to be seen. I want to be heard.
Okay.
Right? And so whatever the words are being said, that's what's really about. And when you strip that, so one of the key things I teach people is saying, don't say you did this, say I felt that you did this. It's a very small difference.
Yeah.
But in the midst of an argument, it changes it.
Massive.
Because when you say you did this, oh no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I felt you did that. The person will go, okay, that's your feeling.
That's how you.
That was not what I intended, but the impact was that.
Yeah.
The difference between intention and impact.
Huh.
I didn't intend to hurt you, but I did, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you might not necessarily to apologize like that, but in your mind, when your spouse is offended, sometimes it's like, why are you offended?
Yeah.
What did I do to offend you? Why are you overreacting, whatever it is?
Yeah.
When you realize that, irrespective of what occurred, this person was offended. I'm sorry, because I don't want to hurt you. When you truly love each other, I never want my husband to be hurt, not like me, but we hurt each other because we're human beings.
Yeah.
So humility is reason that I'm going to hurt you without knowing. And even when I hurt you without knowing, I shouldn't be defensive. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, babes.
Yes.
That was not my intention.
Yeah,
How did I hurt you? What can I do to make sure I don't do that again? Now, to be more aware, so to bring awareness to what I did. So maybe when I said, yeah, whatever, that was disrespectful because you felt dismissed. In my head, I just say, yeah, whatever.
I always say, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. He's like, no, I don't like that because to me, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So you might be, rather than be like, just changing my words, man, come and say, yeah, so you know what? I may not agree, but I get that it hurts him, it makes him feel a certain way. So I'm going to say, okay, baby, I've heard you, but it's okay. There's a difference. That's where the work goes, because the work is, you're not changing yourself for the sake of it. You're changing yourself to be a better husband or wife for the other person.
Yeah.
And really and truly, majority of us don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want to just stay.
The way we are. Yeah. Like even that sorry thing, I realized that sorry thing is like there's levels, not levels to it, but you've got to say, sorry, I apologize, and it definitely wasn't my intention to offend you in the way I offended you. But the way a lot of people say sorry is sorry.
You felt that way.
Yeah, you might say sorry you felt that way, or they might say sorry, but you did this, and that's why I did this.
Yes.
And that's not genuine apology. That's you still justifying.
Again, wanting to be right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's no right in relationship. Once we get that, so even me and my husband, once we get that, there's no right in relationship. And also, other thing is continue couples therapy. Me and my husband done couples therapy. I have my own therapy. Like, continue. You always need a third person. Because somebody asked me, "Oh, you're a therapist, so it should be easier." I said, "No, I can't therapize my husband. I can't therapize my husband." He'd be like, "So why are you speaking like that? I can't therapize my husband. I can't." So
that's your work.
That's my work. And one, I can't see my own blind spots with him. I need somebody else to see my blind spots. That's the whole point of having therapy.
Yeah.
So I would encourage couples, married couples, just to continue. It doesn't mean you have to do it every single time, but if there's every so often, maybe once or twice a year, just have a few sessions of couples therapy. So to really make sure your communication is effective. Because it can get lost in translation. Because one of the key things that breaks up relationship is expectations and assumptions. Like, I just assumed you would do that. I assumed you'd be paying the bills. Now, we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about that. Do you have a joint like that? Literally communicate. Like, make sure. Sometimes I encourage couples and married couples to have family meetings, monthly meetings. where you go through like your spreadsheet in terms of payments, just everything, and you deal with the big issues that occur in relationships. Don't just deal with them when you come back from work and you're hungry and you want to start saying, oh, when you're not in the right frame. Say, babes, let's deal with this next Sunday and sit down and have a proper meeting and discuss our issues where anything goes. I'm not going to be offended by things you said in that meeting. Because sometimes you need that space to say.
It's a meeting, like,
I will say this, I don't want you to be offended, so I can't then come out and go, yeah, you offended me in that meeting. No, we deal with everything in that meeting, offence and all. And you have that space maybe once a month to deal with things, really big and heavy things in the relationship, rather than, as before I go to bed, you want to talk about an issue, or as I'm about to go to work, or I come home from work. Those are not good times to deal with issues.
So someone said that when you're, I guess when you're having those, like when she says this or when he says this, like we're all on the same team. You know, she's like she's on your side. Yeah, we're on the same side. You know, but it's just that we maybe seeing it from different, perspectives.
I've heard the idea of like it's you and me against the problem.
I suppose it was like opposite.
I have a question. So, how do you? Okay, so you mentioned like one of the biggest issues in relationships is our assumptions and expectations.
Unsaid.
Communicate,
So how do we mitigate that going forward? In the sense like, okay, I want to get married now, as I said, in a year's time. Like, what other steps do you think I should take to ensure that, first of all, I'm aware of all the assumptions that my partner might have of me, and then vice versa? And then how do I kind of mitigate them from being an issue going forward?
You have to explicate that. So that's why therapy is important, because some of us don't know why we do things.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So for example, I'm trying to think of an example. So you guys, Nigerian household, Nigerian family, there'll be things that you will do that you just do because you do them. You've done them, right? Then when you meet your partner, Nigerian or not, right? It's just, this is what you do. And then if she goes, why? She's even offended. Like, what do you mean, why? This is just what I do. And then but you haven't communicated that. You're expecting.
I'm not going to lie to you. You saying that, there's a few situations where, like, as you said, there's just things I just do in my house. I'm just like, this is how it works. I was like, why do you do that? I was like, what do you mean? I just do.
If she says don't do that, you'd be like, this is the way I want to do it.
For however long I've been alive, I've been doing this way. So it's like, what do you mean? You're just coming out and trying to change that. I can understand how that will and could become an issue.
And if you don't communicate that, right, to the other person and give the person an opportunity to either agree to that or say, is there any way of compromise? You will then get frustrated when she doesn't respond in the way you think she should do. And girls do it especially. Sometimes we assume our guys should know how we're feeling. But men do it in a different way. You may not do it in a typical way where like a woman is upset and nothing, and you got in with your business. You're thinking, wait a minute, I'm upset. Why didn't you say, can I read your mind? You said nothing. It's nothing. Right? Thing, right? But men, you do your own kind of thing. Like, I know when like maybe my husband is upset and sad, right? He might expect me to know, but I always find it hard because men, you show your emotions very differently. Right? And men can do that. Like, you should know, I'm never like this. But I don't know, you're not making it obvious that you're upset and sad. A girl will at least be like, she would do something to make it obvious. Where
they
guys,
make it obvious.
Maybe a bit more quiet. And like, are you quiet because you're just tired? Are you quiet because you're sad? Are you quiet because you're this? Explain it.
It's true, because sometimes I'm quiet. I'm not upset. I'm just quiet because it's been a long day. I'm trying to process a lot of things in my head. I'm thinking about some new things, or or maybe a lot of things in my head. I'm not necessarily upset. I'm not necessarily sad. So I'm just quiet. And if you you can interpret that as, okay, he's always, when he's thinking about stuff, he's quiet. But then I might be also,
but that same expression
when I'm
is
upset.
the same for sadness when I'm upset.
Exactly.
But like it's a very for guys it's very subtle. But for the guys that I know, because there's some people are very like, I'm not emotionally expressive in general, and it's even an ongoing conversation with my sisters. They're just like, like she was telling me, there was a situation that happened recently from, I think it was February till about March.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a situation that was ongoing, right? And my sister just came up to me one day and she's like, are you alright? I said, yeah, I'm good. And she goes, but like, there's so much going on and I can't see it. Like, you're waking up and doing what you have to do, and like, do you get what I'm trying to say? And she was just like, but like, what? I was just like, what? Do you want me to break down and cry? Like, Like, I just have to do what I have to do.
But were you sad? Were you able to? Were you feeling emotion?
Of course, I was like constantly. Do you get me? If anything, I existed in that emotional state for that time period. But it was just like, I can't. Like, it's not productive for me to
sit
give it
cry.
attention.
How do you think you showed your sadness? What was your sister seeing that wasn't showing her that you were sad, but you were sad?
I don't. You see, that's the thing. I think it's the lack of
showing.
of showing.
Okay.
Do you get me? I wouldn't. I'm not one to cry. I'm not one. I'd probably be more emotional than him, but I'm not one to cry in general. So she probably didn't see anything that she
Associate,
that would
Okay.
associate me with the situation, I guess. And
But actually, internally, you were feeling
Yeah,
it. You weren't
yeah.
suppressing it. You were actually feeling it.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, I have some issues where I don't, because of the schedule of life, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot of times, where like
Have time.
I don't have time to be, I don't have a lot of time to stay here and cry. Like, do you understand? Like, for example, I have a lot of responsibility, which I'm grateful for. You know, in terms of ministry, in terms of business and stuff like that, that's great. And so sometimes there is this pressure on me not to break down. So I describe it as an engine of like a train, and everyone's getting on this train. Everyone's dependent on this train to kind of get to the destination. And if this engine breaks down the train, well, nobody kind of moves. Now, what I realized is that they will just get onto another platform that will get to the same destination. They will still be able to, like, if people need to move, they'll move. Do you know what I mean? And you just be there with a broken engine, no mechanic, no one to fix it. So I've realized that over time, but you know, I was this guy who was like, I don't have time to be upset. So sometimes people will ask me like, Dave, like, I didn't know you went through that, because I might explain what I've been going through, like through a sermon or through a talk. I might tell some people like, yeah, I went through this like crazy time, and I was like, wait,
what?
And you do the podcast every week. You're grand. But I'm like, yeah, I was going through it, but I had no time to really deal with that thing. I just had to move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I felt like, you know, it was a bit, I guess it is not as healthy.
And it's especially when you're in ministry, because you know that a lot of pastors and a lot of ministers are actually experiencing depression and anxiety. They go through
Big
a lot
time.
because they don't feel that they have time. And with the analogy of the train, if you know trains get pit stops.
Yeah.
So if you see as every time you take a moment, it's just a pit stop.
Yeah.
I'll
If you
move off
don't,
again.
if you go past those pit stops, you will break down, and they will get off the platform and find somewhere else. But when you go through the pit stop, they just sit there and wait because it's a pit stop.
Yeah.
No one's going to go anywhere. It's just a pit stop. It's just a maintenance. It's just making sure. So essentially, it feels counterintuitive. That's the thing about therapy. Therapy can make you do things that feels counterintuitive. It feels counterintuitive to be present in a feeling that feels like it will be immobilizing. But actually, you give it more strength when you don't deal with it. You weaken it when you sit in it and face it. Because you realize that it loses its grip on you. Because when you feel that hit, second time, it feels less. It lessens the intensity. And I mean, it can still be intense for a while, but it will eventually lessen the intensity. But what happens when you don't sit that intensity remains, it just goes somewhere else. But it will eventually come up, because I always use a jug. Imagine a jug. This is what's happening. You're just pouring it. It's going to overflow.
One point in time.
It's going to overflow. But what should happen? What when you deal with things at the right time, you just do this. Pour. So it never gets to the rim. You constantly just do this. So it pours in, pours out. But what we do is this. I don't have time. I'm too busy. Everyone's around me. And the day that you break down is usually when you hear pastors then have a mental, like when they have a mental breakdown. I'm not talking about I'm really sad or depressed or they start seeing, they start having psychosis. Because sometimes it stresses so much that it does something to the hormones in your brain, the chemicals in your brain, and then that's when you see that prophetic person. Now the prophetic has gone to a different level.
Yeah, it's gone to a weird place.
Very weird place. They're not able to stop the flow. They're constantly, I'm seeing demons. They're constantly in that. And a lot of that is because they don't give themselves time. And also the system, the ministry system also gives time. So it's really important that's embedded within the churches and the culture, because it shouldn't be pressure just on you. You are a human being. God is giving you a grace to minister, but you also need to be not only pulled into, but you need your own pit stop. Christ had to sleep.
Yeah, he had to sleep. Huh? You're right about it. You're right about it.
Like, I think even what she said, ministry doesn't give you a break. Like, just thinking about the church I used to go to.
Bro.
Like, my pastor was every single Sunday for years. Like, there's no break.
He's right about the years. Like, literally
for years. Like, he's preaching every single
Sunday,
week for years. It's like, realistically speaking, you do need a break.
Yeah, even to be fresh.
Spending time. And Christ withdrew. It was that Christ. That was his pit. That was his getting refreshed.
Wow.
And think about it. In the midst of when I never said the word Gethsemane.
Gethsemane, yeah.
Angels were refreshing him.
Wow.
Meaning that
Wow.
in the moment he was dealing, he was still working, he
Yeah.
was still going to the cross, but
Yeah.
he was getting refreshed in that moment.
Refreshed, yeah,
That's what sitting in your stuff is. Sitting in it doesn't mean I sit there, I just get immobilized. Sitting in it is what you basically kind of did as well. Is that you're sitting in it, but you're still doing stuff. You're not disconnected. You're not like, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? People are like, I'm happy, yeah, I'm good. But no, you're just getting on with like life has to be getting on with, but you're feeling all of that emotions.
Okay. Okay.
And also, lastly, I would say that when you don't do that, you don't allow the Holy Spirit to work in you. But the Holy Spirit's job is to comfort you. What he did with Elijah, you know when Elijah ran and he was suicidal? What did God do? Sleep and eat. Yeah. Ain't that amazing?
That's
God didn't
crazy.
say, why are you sad?
Do you know
what
what-
are you doing? Get up, go out and preach. Yeah, you got to pay these bills. He said, sleep and eat.
You know,
Basic needs.
Yeah.
I will focus on your basicest needs. Sleep and eat.
Do you know one thing I realized quite recently, was I think one of the deepest places in God is place of rest. Like that's one of like the deepest. Like you know when you go to realms there's warfare.
Yeah.
One of the even I won't call it an arrogant, but the most confident place you could even be in terms of like when there's a battle around you is the place of rest. It's a place of like the battle is the Lord's. Like be still and know. Do you know what I mean? That place of like. It, like those who run into the tower of God is a safe place.
Yeah.
Like that place is a resting place. It's not a place of
It's
stress.
like the eye of the storm.
Yeah, do you
Everything
know what I
else is
mean?
going on
When Jesus
around
was
you.
sleeping in the boat, remember when Jesus was sleeping in
Yeah,
the boat?
he's sleeping.
That's
Like
the audacity.
that's the
what you're
audacity.
doing.
That's the
That's
confidence.
power.
That yeah, do you know what I mean?
That's power right there.
That's the most. So I was talking to somebody, and I really and truly, right? She mentioned she was mentioning how she's been fighting for a long time, fighting, and she's tired of fighting. And I was, you know what, I was really about to just give her like, yeah, you know, like the Lord will give you strength, and you just keep going, and just, you know, I was really about to give her, and she just kept talking, and then the Holy Spirit said, He just gave me those scriptures about rest. I'd never ever talked to anybody about rest before. I've never really studied rest myself, but it gave it to me that moment. I feel like I was ministering to her and ministering to myself. She was like, you know, I told her, like, have you tried to rest? And I really rest in the knowledge that God is about to, He's going to fight your battles, and just like, you're tired because you're fighting. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not supposed to fight it. Maybe He's supposed to fight it, and you're supposed to rest, right? And then so I gave her all that. She goes, I've talked to prophets, I've talked to pastors, I've talked to so many people, and they all told me my future is great. And I was about to tell her the same thing.
Yeah.
But she goes, nobody's ever told me I should rest. And I was like, and she was telling me all this. I was like, David, you should take the same advice. You just get this message, like rest. You know, I'm not fighting in the spiritual. You know, I'm really cool with resting in the spiritual aspect. But I know I can rest. But in terms of like just day to day and the tasks that I have on my shoulder, like you know, a lot of people are telling me as well, like Dave, you'll crash, man, and your body. Yeah, I've heard of great. Whether it's a businessman, whether it's a prophet, whether it's a pastor, whether it's someone who's, you know, whatever it may be, die at 42. Why? Because they didn't just take care of themselves. And what happens? My mom said it this morning. She said, David, if I don't learn how to rest, this is because my mom's a pastor and she also has she also works, right? So she's like, if I don't rest, that office chair that I have, in about a week or two, they'll say sorry. They'll say they'll cry if I die. They will cry. They will say, oh, she's gone. And within a week or two, there's a new person there.
Yeah.
That church, that chair, the same for the pastor. Within a week or two, they will, oh God, our mother has gone. But they'll put somebody else there. Do you know what I mean? So like, we're all replaceable. Like there's other people that can do the job. So rest.
There's a theme that's been going on in the past week in my life, and you just touched on it again. It's the whole idea of like the rest idea, and I guess the overarching theme of like cooperation.
Yeah.
Like the Holy Spirit cannot work in you or with you if you don't cooperate.
Yeah.
Do you get me? It's that whole idea, like, like you resting is you saying, I leave it in your hands.
Yeah, do your thing.
And do your thing. Like, I trust in your ability to. I believe that you will. I believe that your
trust.
I believe that your intentions are what is good for me.
Yeah.
So me resting or me choosing to rest is my cooperation with you.
Yeah.
And saying that I accept your will and Yes. Wow.
Wow.
It's a very ongoing theme. Well, you just said that,
Yeah.
I was like, God, you spoke. I
Using
hear
all the
you.
platforms.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear
But
you.
yeah, man,
This has been
a
one
class.
one of my favorite conversations.
Yeah, same. It's been a
One of my
class
favorite
conversation.
conversations
I didn't really know what to expect from it, but like it's been really, really, really good. But yeah, we just kind of end off asking, "Where's your head at?" So, you know, where's your head at? What's going on in the mind? You know, quick brief one.
Yeah, no, I've got. When I get back to the UK, there's a interview, podcast therapy / thing that I'm doing. So in America, so I'll be up at 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
That's 7 o'clock their time, and then I think I'm gonna sleep Monday. Sleep. I'm gonna take night nurse, and then I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm gonna wake up Tuesday. And really do all the stuff I was meant to do last week. No, I've learned to listen to my body. So I think back in the day, I always feel really bad for it. I still always have this kind of like, I should be doing stuff. But when my body is fully rested, I'm the most effective. The brain is the most effective. So I'm going to rest this whole weekend, bank holiday weekend, and then Tuesday come in like
Class.
hot.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
That's sick.
Yeah, what I said before, bro. I'm not even therapy, bro.
Therapy.
I've been really considering it recently.
Yeah.
Really considering it. Actually, this is probably going off on a tangent, right? So, I was speaking to my girlfriend about this, and I was saying that I want specifically a black male Christian therapist.
I was going to just ask that as well.
And I was saying, and I was like, the reason why I want those specific things are, you're a man, so there are a lot of things about manhood that I don't have to explain to you. You're black. There are a lot of things that you understand by being black as well that I don't have to explain to you. And 3, you're a Christian, and being that you're a Christian, your values will be aligned with mine. And then I guess what you decide to point out from what you're seeing in the mirror will be things that are aligned with kind of the biblical values. Yeah. Do you think that's it?
Is that you being picky, or is it?
Yeah, 1, is that me being picky? And 2, is like, is that necessary?
No, it's not necessary. It's not being picky. I think that, like for example, when I wanted therapy, when I first started, I wanted a black female therapist. I found one, we just didn't connect, and then I ended up my therapist is actually white. But if I was to choose again, I would actually choose again a black therapist. But I think I needed her for a particular reason, and now I'm sticking with her. I don't want to start all over again. But no, I don't think it's bad, and I would then make sure that the Holy Spirit leads you, because He may not give you that for a reason.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is good. I think it's important. I do think it's important. So our couples therapist is Christian, and if I was to do it again, I would. But my experience is when I found the person I thought, though she wasn't Christian, but I found everything that I thought she was, I didn't connect with her.
Okay.
And I connected with this person.
Yeah.
So and I needed her, how she was, for what I had to go through.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, first and foremost, to just know what you want, but also just be open. So it might be you might find a black female Christian therapist, or you might find a white male Christian therapist, or you might find an Asian Christian therapist.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Do you know what I mean? So also you got to just also to a degree sometimes say to find there is, but it's going to be also limited. So the reality is to find a black male Christian therapist. You might find a black male therapist, still minority.
Yeah.
Christian. You're more likely to find a black female Christian therapist than that. They are there, but there's not many.
Not many. That
are
you're right.
practicing Christians that are also therapists. So that's why I say you just got to be open. You can look for that. That's your ideal, and just know you're non-negotiable. If it's like, no, Christian, I can't negotiate Christian, but I can probably negotiate in race. Then you might say, fine, as long as I can find a Christian therapist, it could be male, it could be female, or it could be white. Thing. So it's just about doing that.
Wider.
But you can find it. It's there. So it might be in America.
Because you do a lot of them are online as well now, bro. Like,
I don't know if it'd be. There could be one person on the island, but it'll probably be online.
Yeah,
and you've got to allow for it to look all over England. It's the same time zone, and then potentially even America. Maybe say, look, 5 hours difference. Because to find a black male Christian, you know, America, there's a lot of black Christians in therapists. But in the UK, we are very small minority.
Small.
Black is a minority. Then we're a smaller minority as being Christian.
Yeah, it's even smaller here.
And then smaller to even be
There's
what
a
you want.
Yeah. Sorry, the reason why I was saying that is because, like, there's a lot of things that I guess I'll speak about that I don't need to explain because you understand. Do you get me? Like, I don't have to use my whole mouth to talk. I don't have to explain certain things. So I've always, like, when I was speaking to my girlfriend about it, she was just like, I don't think that, like, those things are necessary.
It's important to you. They might not be necessary, but they're important to you.
Important to you,
Not
yeah.
necessary. No. Reality is a good therapist is a good therapist. A good Christian therapist, a good Christian therapist.
And they probably dealt with like Christian guys before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people,
It's not, what's necessary means like it has to, like without that I won't change. It's not necessary for your involvement and change. But it's important for you because it helps you be comfortable. It eases you in already.
Yeah.
You don't already want factors to make you. Therapist already uncomfortable. I don't know you, and I'm gonna tell you my business. Now you're a white old man. Hey, this one's serious. Or the same way if you went to a therapist and you felt someone she looks like my mum. Auntie be like, this one is.
Does this one know my mom? Is he gonna tell my mom?
That makes it easy for you because you're already going to feel slightly uncomfortable.
You're right.
That's why it's important.
Rather
than like it's not necessarily true, but it's important.
Okay,
for sure. Anyways, with me.
And where's your head at?
My head is all over the shop, mate. Yeah. I don't know. Jumbled. Yes, it's still jumbled. Like I'm gonna get there, but like it's just jumbled. There's a lot of things. Happy to be alive. Do you know what I've been saying to people recently as well? Like there's I might be physically like tired, but like I'm actually in a fantastic space. Like in terms of things could be better. Yeah. But like not even only what I'm doing, just like. So when people ask me a question, I just how am I doing? I tell them, yo, I'm fantastic. One side of it is like telling the truth, and the other side of it is prophecy. It's like, yo, bro, I'm fantastic, I'm phenomenal. Because like, there's one guy, Theo, TJ. Yeah. Every single time I ask him how he is, bro, he comes with the warmest handshake, and like, I'm fantastic, I'm great. And like, it's not even like he's trying to put the energy on. Like you can see it how he operates. Yeah. Like he's operating in a great, frame, and he is one of like, he is I guess in the organization under me. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But I learned from that guy. I look at that guy like, yo, broski, teach me. Like he's just the way he like, I guess, operates is like the guy wakes up at 5 a.m. like doesn't he meditates, as in like quiet, just has time to think for himself. Mm-hmm. Then he would read a book, and like he conquers everything before he he starts his day, goes about his day, and then like he's not easily accessible as well. I love it about him. Like I think it's around 9 to 10. Like phone dinner step. It doesn't matter who you are, don't get to access him like that. And I just love his control of his life in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you can't just access me because you know me. It's weird that I like it, but I really do like it because I might call him. I might try to call him right now and he says you can't answer, and I just love it. Like.
Yeah, you just respect it.
I respect that you control your life.
There's an element of me that wants to be like that. Yeah, so when you see
I want to be like that.
So when you see, I just like I love it.
I love it. Yeah. But yeah, that's where my head's at. I'm feeling fantastic. That's where it is. Jumbled but fantastic. Yeah. But anyways, anyone who's been watching, if you've got to this far, man, I'm sure you've enjoyed the ride. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And also you can get your HelloFresh.
It's up to 75 euro for your first 3 boxes using the code WYHAPOD. Do yourself a favor and make cooking easier.
Yeah. And it's good food. It's good. Low calories as well. The calories are not high on that.
And like you can control it. Like it comes controlled.
Controlled.
So, it's easier for you.
Thank you so much, Ngozi.
Thank you so much for coming on.
We appreciate you. All right. Take care. Bye.
Love.